I am back with another game of Mage Knight, this time the Hidden Valley scenario from the Shades of Tesla expansion. After I've played the Realm of the Dead last time, I want to get more experience with the Elementalist faction before I go back into Life and Death, so the main scenario of the expansion, which I adore, really, because there's a lot of open information, lots of choices, lots of potential for quite strategic play, which I like most in Mage Knight. If you already have the information of some of the enemies, what do you need, what resistance do they have, and then you can plan around that, plan with the offers. And in contrast to the Valley of the Dead, the Hidden Valley scenario is much easier, I would say, at least from the rules. I'm not from the gameplay. On the contrary, in the Valley of the Dead, there were graveyards with extra enemies, with extra reputation, with an advanced action, with a spell as a reward. And as far as I see it here for the Hidden Valley, there's none of all that. There is no specific ordering of tiles that there are some with glades or not, so there are no specific enemies. Only the rampaging enemies are elementalists, and if you kill them, you can reveal a tile for free. And if you do not use this route, revealing new tiles costs 3 times the normal cost because it's hard to find, but you can use influence instead or in combination with movement to explore. But then again, if you can reveal for free for rampaging enemies, that's probably the way to go. And that's pretty much it. So you have to find the Elementalist leader and kill it. I'm going with a level 8 again. Didn't study the wheel too much, so after doing or attempting level 8 on the Valley of the Dead, I think I should do pretty much the same level now with the Elementalist. I think that makes sense. But I did immediately see that this means that the leader has an armor of 5, so with level 8 it's already 40 damage you have to do to kill it. The armor is actually quite interesting because the very next level, level 9, would have only 3 armor if blocked, but it has 3 attacks, 1 cold, 1 fire, 1 cold fire, and all of them are swift, so it's hard to block, but if you do, it's only 3 times 9, that's only 27 armor, which is much better, obviously. So quite interesting, but let's stick with level 8 for now. As with the last scenario, there will be a green city which is friendly, where the dummy and I already have 1 shield, so no one is leader, but we can just go there and hire units, that's good. It does have a glade on it, I think, and the Hidden Valley is the white city tile where we know there's a keep and it will be defended by 2 green elementalist tokens instead of a regular keep enemy. The leader is actually the High Priestess, I haven't mentioned that yet, so we are battling against level 8 High Priestess that we pretty much just have to find and be good enough to defeat her. It seems to me like it's a more difficult leader. I'm not sure if they should be balanced or should be the same, but all these elemental attacks in my book I think are harder to deal with than physical, even if they do have poisonous and whatever. And the armor is already a little bit higher here, so yeah, we'll see. As for the starting setup, we do have a tile with a mage tower. That's quite interesting. It's rotated once, I think, so the mountain is facing me, but there's a village in front of it. Speaking of a village, we can hire the scouts, the peasants, or the Utum crossbowmen. And since we are using, again, Blizz rules, that's part of the scenario, we do have 4 units, so there's also the illusionist that I can only hire in this specific mage tower, because there's currently no monastery. And I do like the illusionists, obviously, they're quite a good unit, but I also like the scouts and the crossbowmen and the peasants. As always, they are just easy to pick up and quite versatile, so why not? So this could be a route to go to the village, hire, well, pretty much anything, crossbowmen, scouts, peasants, whatever, then take the mage tower, get a spell, hire the illusionist, maybe kill the centaurs here. In the Valley of the Dead scenario, all the revealed, so not the initial ones, but the later revealed rampaging enemies have pursuit, so they will, after the end of your movement phase, move towards you. In this scenario, they all have ambush instead, which pretty much just means if you move from a distance of 2 instead of 1 as regular to another tile or another space, which is also in the distance of 2 of that enemy, that you will provoke them. So they just have a 1 space wider radius of provoking, so it's much harder to evade them. But then again, you probably don't want to in this scenario because you can reveal a map tile, which doesn't even have to be connected to the tile you're currently on. So you can really just reveal the map however you like. So that feels quite easy, actually. So as already mentioned, difficulty-wise, there's, I don't know, much less to do. You just have to kill the High Priestess. And finding her doesn't seem that hard. Maybe that's famous last words. But on the contrary, due to the lack of more tokens on the map, because the graveyards really added 2 tokens each, there's much less to do. So you have to really use the tiles that are revealed to get your artifacts, your spells, your levels, your advanced actions, your units to power up enough to actually defeat the leader. So the tile is already quite interesting, although this is all in the desert, so we have day. This will be hard to assault at day with a movement cost of 5. But on the other tile, there's really not much going on. There's also a village that could be an intermediate point to hire, same as the other village. Then there's a glade, and then there are Elven Protectors, so they have the defend ability, which is new with the expansion. So they defend 2, so if you just attack themselves, they will have an armor of 6 pretty much. So whatever you attack first will get the defend ability. If there are multiple tokens with defend, it's not stacked up. You have to choose one of the defend abilities, and the second token will get the next defend ability until you run out, pretty much. So none of these tokens, well, actually both of them will make me level because we are playing Blizz rules. They both have 2 fame, so that doesn't matter much. These can actually be killed by a swiftness concentration combination. Those cannot because of the defend ability. So going to this tile pretty much would only be reasonable to level, maybe heal with the Glade, I don't know, but then just to move on, where here we already have a quite good battle plan. So let's look at the offer. We have Underground Travel again. Actually, the whole offer looks pretty much the same, not as in the beginning of the last game, but we have seen all these spells. But then again, there are not that many spells, so you're bound to run into the same things over and over. So Underground Travel was really good last time to not provoke enemies and to traverse the map quite quickly. But as with the other scenario, the High Priestess is not fortified and the Entourage is also not fortified, so Underground Attack doesn't do much for us unless we want to use it for other sites, fortified sites. Tremor, I skipped that last game because I had, I think, better options. But it does still pack a punch, especially with a High Priestess that has, if we put it on level 8 here, it actually has 5 tokens. So 2 green, 2 brown, and 1 red. So with the Necromancer, it was the other way around. 1 green, 1 brown, and 2 red. So it's actually 1 token more. And of course, the High Priest is also arcane immune, but for these 5 tokens, Tremor will actually do quite some damage. So that might be something we want to pick up. We don't have the graveyards this time, so we can't use night rules whenever we like. So it's just a regular game in this regard. And finally, we also have again Meditation and Trance. But maybe Trance is something that we actually want to use. To have like the best cards, use them twice in a round, that might be interesting. But I think the movement of Underground Travel or the Tremor will be more interesting than Meditation. The dummy has 2 green crystals and a blue. So with this spell offer, we pretty much add a lot of green. Even if we pick up a spell, remove 1, so there will still be 1, so at least 1 green crystal will be added. And unfortunately, the first 2 advanced action cards are also green. We do have Training. We want to see such a card then in the beginning of the game, so that's fair enough. So I can just swap out an advanced action card with one of the offer, which has the same color, but it goes to discard pile. Unless I power it, then it goes to my hand instead, which is a good skill to take. I mean, maybe I pick that up and then swap out one of my marches with Stout Resolve. That would also resolve this situation there. And finally, we have the Diplomacy, so a 2 and 4 influence card, which allows you to play it in battle, and you can block enemies with influence. So unless we are picking up a lot of influence, I'm not sure about that card. Hero-wise, I didn't mention that yet. I, as always, rolled with between the heroes that I did not play in the last game. So there are currently 7 heroes without the Apocalypse Dragon. So if I played one, there are 6 left, so I can easily roll a die to pick one of them which I haven't played. And it came up with Norowas. And then I added Tovak, which I played last time, back into the slot, rolled again, and it came up with Goldix. And in this combination, I want to go with Norowas this time. I've already played Goldix, haven't even had a choice with Norowas since I started playing again, so I'm really looking forward to a nice Norowas game here. And having Goldix as a dummy is definitely not bad. We'll see if it works out with the crystals, but at least skill-wise, it's always nice to have one of Goldix's skills. My opening hand has both specific cards of Norowas, so Noble Manners and Rejuvenate, a Swiftness, a March, and a Threaten. So we do have both our influence cards in hand, which might mean that we really want to hire the Utum Crossbowman, for example, in the village. So move there, hire, and it's already a good use of our first hand. I really like to see what's in the Mage Tower, even though it takes 5 movement to attack. We could also just bypass the tower, level with the Centaur Outriders, and then just continue exploring. Killing them will just reveal a tile anyway. But the option to get a spell sounds interesting, and maybe if I level twice, I can even pick up the Illusionist. The source is showing only blue and green and already contains a depleted black die. I don't have any blue cards in my hand currently, so it's really just green that's available. Yeah, so I really think that the play will be to go to the village, hire the first unit, see the defenders, maybe then even move to this plain space, which already provokes the Centaur Outrise due to the ambush ability, so it's 2 spaces away, and the target space is also 2 spaces away, so it will already attack me, so I can then level and then take the tower maybe with the skills I pick up. Let's rearrange the cards a bit. So this is our influence that we have, and if we power the Noble Manners, we already will get Reputation. We are starting at +1 due to the Blizz rules. We do have movement, a battle card, and then this is the Tranquility version, which allows me to heal or draw or get green mana or even a green crystal, and to ready units, which is so nice. The Crossbowman could even kill the Centaur Outriders. Even if I don't draw the combination, I already have the swiftness. So if I hire them, I can just kill them with the swiftness. Unfortunately, I cannot power Noble Manners, nor can I power Threaten. So that would mean I have 4-5 influence. And the crossbowmen cost 6, scouts and peasants cost only 4. And to move there, I would need movement 4, and I would not like to use the swiftness for movement. So my first turn will pretty much be moving with March, powering it with the green die from the source to reach the village, and then maybe even play the Rejuvenate sideways, even though that hurts a lot. But healing is not useful. Drawing cards, I never like replacing a card with another card. It just means that you, well, pretty much did not have the card to begin with. So that's really only useful if you're looking for something or are in some kind of pickle, but not just for fun, basically. So that's out of the question. The green mana or the green crystal are interesting. And readying units is insanely good. But then again, if I can't hire the units I want to ready, so that, maybe this is one of the times that Great Start would actually work, to give me 2 more cards, so more options. Maybe movement will then just be without the die, but it doesn't change that I don't have the mana, so mana draw wouldn't work as well. Crystallize would work, but Great Start pretty much means that you are going after the dummy, which I don't like. Mana Steal doesn't do anything for me with this opening hand and this source, so it's either rethink or planning. Maybe rethinking the Rejuvenate is a good idea, but what else? I pretty much like the other cards. But then again, maybe it's a way to go before the dummy and give Rejuvenate a chance to pop up later. Maybe to, for example, ready the crossbowman again. You don't have to swap out so many cards. Or do I just hire something else, not a crossbowman? Because then I don't need to play the Rejuvenate. So I would have to pick up the scouts or the peasants. But the plan is far too good to level before taking the tower, and the crossbowman will just do that. Do I want to power the Noble Manners? That's the question. If I want to have a shot at the tower, planning would really be good, because 6 cards makes it much more viable to assault a mage tower in a desert at day. That extra card really makes a difference. Yeah, so I don't think I want to take rethink, because as said, these 4 cards are already perfect for the plan. So it's just that 1 card, but planning will make it much more likely the dummy goes before me. But I don't think that's a big deal if I can take a mage tower and level, kill the Centaur Outriders and hire something like the Illusionist, maybe even in a tower then with the second command slot. I think I will try planning. And the dummy picks Mana Steal, so it's actually going before me. That's exactly the difference between rethink and planning, but it could be worse, I think. All right, then let's see what the dummy is doing in his first turn. So white, white, and blue, which is another card, which is another white. So a lot of cards he has no crystal for. So what do we do? I think we will use the green die to march. Norowas steps through the portal, through the plains into the village. And we can play these 2 cards to gain influence 5, which would not be enough to hire the crossbowmen. So I think I will toss the Rejuvenate in so we can hire the Utem crossbowman. And at least we are then not playing too slow in contrast to the dummy. So we did use Noble Manners. If you use this during interaction, get Fame +1. So we do already have Fame 2. The die unfortunately also comes up blue, so that's not a good source. And let's see what else we get. A Crystallize, that's really nice with the source. Another Swiftness, a March, and a Mana Draw. Interesting. So that will be our next hand. Let's see what the dummy does with his second turn. Oh, actually the Centaur Outriders do not have ambush, but it doesn't matter if I move there, I can just provoke them, because those were not revealed by me. Only the new ones will have ambush, and it will be marked with a shield. So the dummy's second turn is red, blue, and green. So we hit another color where he has crystals with another blue and another red. I don't like it too much. He's playing quite fast. So it's 9 cards out of 16s already. So half of the deck. More than half of the deck. We could have, or we should have revealed the defenders, which are ice golems, so that's not good news. The attack is nothing too fancy, but it does have paralyze, and the 4 armor with ice and physical resistance mean that unless you have fire damage, you need 8 damage to kill them, and you have to deal with the attack somehow. You cannot just take the damage. So that's not good, but as already laid out, maybe we do kill the Centaurs, which would be a move 2, and I'm contemplating if I'm using March or Swiftness, but I do not have white mana to even power a Swiftness. So we would need to use the crystallize to produce a white crystal to even have white mana. And at that point I'm really thinking about if I should use mana draw as well to turn another die white to have more options. If I want to take, well, the tower is quite hard to take actually. Once I level I will have, for example, access to start resolve or training. I'm not sure if we should even attempt the tower. We need 4 block. Well, it's just a determination, but then something like 2 rages and all the mana to power all that stuff. So you probably would need the mana draw. So I'm still not sure with which card to move. If you want to take the tower, we need a lot of movement, and swiftness is not a good damage source if you don't have the mana. So actually, I think I'd rather hold on to March and mana draw. So use the swiftness to go on. Actually, we could plunder the village. That's something we should think about. It would give us a reputation penalty, but we would have 2 more cards in hand. I think at that point it's probably a good idea. And the golems would make us level twice because of the noble manners, since we already at 2, so +5 is 7, but we do get an extra fame for crossing a level boundary, so we are at 8 and then flip up to 9 as well. So we would level twice just by taking the tower, which means that we could then take the illusionist, and the start resolve could be the card that we need to get influence. I think I want to plunder the village. We haven't revealed any information yet, so we take the reputation penalty and draw 2 more cards. There's a stamina, not that useful I think. Well, it can be part of the source, that's something. And a concentration, nice. Well, the cards do not change the fact that we do not have the block currently to block the ice golems, and to even deal 8 damage we would have to power 1 swiftness with concentration and 1 regularly, so a white and a green mana, which we do not have still. So it's still not a good idea. We do have the crossbowmen. Actually, they give us 3 block, so 1 other card will be the block that we need. So we could prepare around with crystallizing a blue mana die to a green. That would at least give us concentration swiftness, but we are lacking the mana. To enter, we also need to power 1 movement card and play another card. So that would again be a lot of mana. We can stay here and plunder the village again. That might be a play. Crystallize, don't draw up anything, but then plunder the village to get 2 more cards. That might be the play. If I move out of the village to kill the centaurs, I will use the unit. I will level, but I will not be able to plunder. Actually, I forgot planning. I think I'm playing too fast, to be honest. So I did draw these 2 cards due to plundering, but I played too many cards in the first turn to even activate planning, right? So I had to move, power this, play these 2 cards and play this sideways to even be able to hire, keeping 1 swiftness. So planning wasn't even active. That's good, so we didn't do any mistake. And I think the plan I laid out, I like that. So maybe we use crystallize to get a green crystal, to reroll a source die and have the power to use concentration. Planning will then don't do anything because we have plundered, but I will be at 8 cards next turn. And maybe the reroll will give us a better mana color. Because I think I should take the tower and not just wimp out, go around it and regularly level. Because this will level twice, I will get a spell. I'm in a tower to hide the illusionist, maybe by taking training and or start resolve. So I think it's an opportunity I should take, even though it will ruin my reputation to plunder again, then assault a tower. But with the Blizzard rules, we are starting like with a huge bonus, so let's use that to our advantage. The dummy can screw my plan, obviously, by playing too fast, but I think I have to risk it. So let's just crystallize. The die reader unfortunately doesn't do anything for us. So it's arguably a bit worse now because we can't even, well, we can use concentration to power mana draw, but then we don't have it for the swiftness. I won't draw up, so the dummy is next. Let's pray he's playing a bit nicer now. Red, green, and another green. So it's 2 more cards, but I think at that point it doesn't matter. So red and blue. So there's only 2 cards left, so we'll have 3 turns now for the first day. That's really fast. I will take a reputation penalty to draw 2 more cards. There's a rage, nice. And another stamina. So the only problem we have is the severe lack of mana we currently have. So we might want to do something like this. So we use the stamina for movement 4. Another stamina to actually reach the mage tower. Let's see if this will work out. We can all revert this if it's not working. I would then assault a tower and have to fight the golems. I would then generate a white mana token for mana draw with concentration to put a black die to white. Get 2 mana. This powers 2 swiftness and a rage for a damage of 8. And then the crossbowman will be a block 3 with a sideways march, which means I have block 4. I think that's the best I can do. If I don't use the concentration to power the mana draw, but for example with the crystal, I could could get an attack of 5, 6, 7, 8. It would also work, but it would need the same cards. But it would not use the mana draw. It would mean I spend a crystal more. I don't think there's a better option. These golems are hard to deal with. I have to block, so the block 4 I think is best acquired from the crossbowman with another card sideways. I don't like losing the march, but I think I can't play more efficiently. Because the movement cost I need is 5, unfortunately, so that's the sideways card, or just another movement card. The block I need, and I need the attack 8. And with this, at least, I'm cleaning up the source a bit, although there won't be that much day left. I've used 1 die already, so mana draw can give me access to another blue, but that's it, I can't do anything with this. So I wouldn't be able to power anything else. Concentration won't allow me to block, and it will just be an attack equivalent of 2. So if I'm not powering them, they drop down by 2. I can then, for example, power the Rage instead. So that would be 6 attack already, but where does the other 2 attack come from? I don't think there's an option where I can actually save another card. If I'm not using mana draw to generate 2 white, I cannot power the swiftness at all. So unless I'm using concentration, then on the swiftness, I can't use the attack. That's the reasoning here, and attack 5 plus 2, because I can't power Rage as well, because there's no red mana, is only 7, so I need another card sideways. So it comes out to the same, but I need the crystal, and I won't have used the mana draw. That's the difference. So the mana draw in its essence gives me a crystal, and I think I like that more, and I'm cleaning up the source a bit. Even though there's probably no white card left that I need to or want to use. No, they're all here already. So unless I'm using the, well, maybe I take diplomacy, I don't know. Well, I can't give the dummy all these green cards. That doesn't sound like a good idea. And green cards are already all gone. What cards do I actually have left? Should be 3, so it's a Rage and Improvisation, which is good because this improvisation is influence, and a determination. Rage, determination, improvisation. So all blue and red, and I won't be able to kill the Centaur Outriders. Actually, no, they are not having ambush. I thought I would have provoked them. That would have been not good. Let's see if I block them with 1 card. I will have to use the unit anyway. Yeah, I don't think I can save a card. At least I'm not seeing it currently. So let's play that through one more time. So I'm using the stamina of a blue source die. So this has to be re-rolled. This is 6 movement. Allows me to move into the desert a day, get a reputation penalty to assault the mage tower. I will then have to fight these golems. I'm activating the crossbowman with a sideways march for 4 block. Inefficient against ice attack is block 2. Blocks the paralyzed attack of the golems. And I'm using concentration to create a white token to power mana draw. And then rotate a black die to white, creating 2 white tokens, power both swiftness for a range attack of 6 and a regular rage for an attack of 8. Inefficient against physical resistance means an attack of 4, which kills the golems. So far planning was completely useless, so it's probably the wrong choice with the way I played. So that's 5 fame at least, which brings me to 7, but I get 1 bonus fame from the level up and another one from the second level up. So we get our command slot. The white die goes to the source as is. The other die comes black again, so this is extremely unlucky. And then we get our reward, which is a spell, and we should mark the mage tower with our shield. And after the spell, we will have a level up. So meditation is probably wrong choice. Tremor, I think it will be good to have. If nothing else, it's an armor reduction of 3. Underground travel. I'm thinking that Tremor will be good enough even a day against the necromancer. No, the high priestess this time, because she has 5 tokens guarding her. I like this. And on the way, maybe there is some other fortified site that we can take at night where this will be quite useful. Armor -6 against defenders. Yeah, let's just take that. We don't have a movement skill yet or an advanced action card. But meditation with the dummy, at least this day, it's not useful. I do have a green crystal, so I can cast that stuff. But with underground travel, where would I even go without having revealed stuff? Yeah, I'm taking Tremor. I'm taking the safe route for the final battle. There's Demolish. Again, not that useful maybe in this kind of scenario, but a nice spell. And if the enemy is not fire resistant, we can destroy a blocked enemy with Disintegrate with black mana. But let's see what a level up brings. And the skill choice is between the Bright Negotiation, so that's 3 influence at day and 2 influence at night, once per turn. That's really nice because I now want to hire. And Forward March, which once per turn gives you movement for each ready and unwounded unit you have. So currently that would be 1. So you're really incentivized to build up a larger army. And then this will be just a good movement skill. So training is pretty much out of the question because we will only get blue and red cards to throw away with training, and there are none none to learn. But if I don't pick it up, the dummy will get it. But I think I have to live with that. So I will have 2 more turns. And I think I want to hire the Illusionist and I want to kill the Centaur Outriders. These are the 2 goals. I might not even cast Tremors, so Improvisation will give me 3 influence. I'm at 0. The Illusionist needs 7. So this at least would give me, will bring me up to 6. So I have to toss another card. Currently I'm not seeing taking me this over the influence because I do want to fill this command slot. So yeah, I will take Bright Negotiation. And as said, since I can't use training, well, I can gamble and hope that I reveal a red or a blue card, but then I'm not taking Start Resolve and the dummy will get that. So that's quite pointless. So it's either Diplomacy, which makes the hiring trivial and don't have to ditch anything, or the Start Resolve, well, which solves the same purpose. And I think I like the Start Resolve much more, and it will make a card ready to pick up for the dummy later on. The Diplomacy, which he doesn't have a crystal for. I think I liked it a lot. So let's take Start Resolve. And the offer refreshes to Blood Rage, which I would really like to pick up to come up with this 40 attack I need. And I could have swapped the Rage for Blood Rage. How fitting with training. Yeah, again, it would have been a gamble. The dummy reveals Freezing Power to pick up next time we level up. So that was the reward and the level up, which means we are drawing now. And again, planning was completely useless, it's not kicking in, but we only have 5 cards in our deck, so the remaining 3 of the starting deck and the 2 we just got. So we will have the Start Resolve and the Tremor, and then Improvisation, the Rage and the Determination that we already knew are waiting for us. The dummy will then play 2 more cards, and we now have 2 turns left. I should probably hire and then battle the enemy, not the other way around. Although it gives me a faction token that I can use for influence to hire then. But if I pick up the Illusionist, well, I can get a white crystal or make them not attack. So I just need an attack of 5 to kill them. But to pick them up, I need 4 more influence in addition to this. Since I do have an armor of 3, I'm thinking about not blocking the Centaur Outriders and just killing them with 5 attack, which could, for example, be this. Well, actually, since I do get a wound, this will account for 3. So 2 cards will actually be enough to kill them, which means that I can use this for 3 influence. That's probably the way to go. So we are interacting in the tower with Bright Negotiation at day. We get 3 influence, 0 from the Reputation. Improvisation with discarding Determination is 6. Sideways Tremor is 7. So we can pick up the Illusionist. And that's it for this turn. Dummy announces end of round. And then we are attacking the Centaur Outriders, taking a wound with armor 3 from the attack 3. Then we are discarding the wound to play Start Resolve and Rage for an attack of 5, which does kill the Outriders. And we do pick up a white crystal from the Illusionist, so we have used them as well in the first day. This will give us 2 fame. We get a faction token, which is the mystical map, so it helps with revealing. And we can reveal a tile with a distance of up to 3 spaces, and the reveal doesn't even cost anything. So it's just really a far bonus reveal. The Centaur Outriders also give us a reputation, so we're back to 0. And by defeating a rampaging faction enemy, I also get to reveal a new map tile. So I will just do that. I can replace it wherever I like. And to get to the core tiles, we need 3 more countryside tiles. I will probably just start at the coastline here. If I want to reveal this, I can always use the map. So let's put that here. Rose comes up green, so it will be rotated twice. So from this orientation to green. And there's a red crystal mine, a mountain, a monster den, and then again Elven Protectors at the edge of the map. So it makes it quite unlikely that I will actually go there because there's a forest, there will be night soon. So this is the more easy route to move now. I could use the map to reveal, but I think there's no hurry. Unless there's a ruin or something like this, then I would have revealed this already at day, but I think that would be too hasty. So I played all this with my last turn, and it's the end of day 1. So we do burn the tactics, and I think the tactics selection this time really went quite badly because I misplayed this, that in the first turn I did have only 1 card left. Then I planted a village twice, so this didn't kick in. Then I played all my cards again, so it never helped me at all. So I could have gone before the dummy, but then again I did play through my cards, so what's the point? I could have played a little bit slower maybe could have optimized something, but I think overall it's not a big deal. If you go for rethink and swap out 1 cards, there won't be much of a difference, unless you are running out of time basically. But I think, as I said, I've played through my deck. I've leveled twice, I've picked up 2 units, I think good ones as well. I picked up the spell, so yeah, I think I'm quite content with how this first day went. Unfortunately, the dummy picks up a green card and a green crystal. But we were so unlucky already that, I don't know, maybe luck cancels out a bit and we will just avoid the green cards, but it's not a good omen. And I will definitely get rid of meditation to not give him another green. Is this good? Well, I already gave him a green card, so I should get rid of this. He will probably pick up a red crystal then, but then again, we don't give him a red card yet. So I think we will do that. Training goes into his deck, and we will leave the white card definitely for him to pick up. So there's a counter attack, and for the spells, we have Restoration and a Snowstorm or Blizzard as a refresher. We ready our units, and we get a new silver unit offer with Peasants, Herbalists, which I quite like, Utem Guardsmen, or Thugs. But we are nowhere near our third command slot because we already hired quite well, so I think we'll just move on. And there's also nothing yet that we can even hire on the Mage Tower. We can think about if we want to pick up a spell, but let's see. We flip to the night side, and at least this time we have all the mana but red at our disposal. Shuffle the dummy deck, and then shuffle our own deck. So let's draw our first hand of 5 cards. Tremor right away, a March, a Threaten, that's not useful, a Concentration and another March. But at least there's a lot of movement to get going. So we are at Tactic Selection then for the first night. At this point I'm just sitting back down to the game after a day's pause. With the special scenario rules of the Hidden Valley that it's hard to find, if I do reveal myself, it will cost triple the amount, so 6 movement, but I can use influence for movement. So I could use Threaten with March to explore, but the better option would probably be to destroy rampaging enemies, so either of the Elven Protectors, because they make me reveal for free, so it's not wasted time. And since they do have ambush, at least the new Elven Protector has ambush, I forgot to mark that. I will provoke it if I move from within 2 spaces to within 2 spaces. So for example, from the hill to the forest, I would provoke it. But moving to the forest is obviously not a good idea, so I could just go straight to it. Well, then I can just provoke it regularly and go via the red mine. Or I'm using my map that I found, the mystical map from the last rampaging enemy, to just reveal the center tile here and then move on regularly. But it does not only reduce the explore cost to 0, but it also works for 3 spaces away, so that could be a way to fill a gap or without going out of my way to place these countryside tiles. For example, here on the coastline I would probably like to place one, so I can then start with the core tiles here. So maybe this tile I will explore naturally, and then this is a distance of 3 to place the last countryside tile if I want to move through this. So maybe I should hold on to this map for a little bit longer. The protectors are really annoying to kill because of the defend, which means they have 6 armor against range, and even with the crossbowmen and the swiftness, it's just 1 point off, and I really don't see myself playing concentrate swiftness and the crossbowmen just to kill them. At that point I'd rather take the damage or block them and just use regular damage for this. We do need to think about how we can ramp up attack against the High Priestess, and Blood Rage I like a lot for this. It's just a plain attack 9, that's really good. The counter attack might be something to think about. It scales quite quickly, so if I block 2 enemies it's already an attack of 10. And I will probably block the High Priestess, so that might be a way to scale as well. So if I move on now, I would have to pay a movement cost of 3 for the Desert at Night, and then movement cost of 6 to explore, which can be paid with influence partly or in full. That's a combined total of 9, an odd amount again, unfortunately. Actually, I do have Bright Negotiation. Wow, now I feel quite clever taking this, because it's already at night, it's just 2, but again it will help. So we do have a good starting hand, I think, for moving on and exploring even with these harder rules, because I don't see myself getting out of position for either of these 2. Maybe there will be a rampaging enemy here as well, which will then allow me to reveal yet another tile. I have the map, so maybe I have to pay these costs once at least. So we do need to take a tactic, but first we need to have a plan. So these would be the cards that we would like to play. We do have a lot of green in the source, so we can power a march. And as it's lying here, that's already a movement of 10, so 4 influence and 6 regular movement, and that's enough. So we would keep these, and I think we should do that with our first turn. So what do we take as a tactic? I don't know what to pick with preparation. So again, as with the last scenario of the Realm of the Dead, if I neither pick preparation or sparring power, I will have the other one for the second night to make it count. So I think I try to go first. Mana Surge, not pressing yet, so maybe the long night play will be the right play again. The dummy might not give me that much time, at least we are more unlucky this time, and we have not prepared the deck well by adding a green card to the 2 green crystals it already has and stacking another crystal on top of it. That's really almost the worst case. Probably it is the worst case, but let's try anyway. It probably just means that we have to play faster as well. We can burn through our deck fast and then refresh 3 cards. But let's see what the dummy is doing. If he's going before me nevertheless. And he plays from the dusk. Okay, so I pretty much called it, unfortunately. So that's not a good combination, since the dummy will go first and I picked Long Night and we screwed up his deck. But let's see, maybe we are getting lucky. So he's playing red, green, that's good, and another green. So already hitting 3 more cards, white, blue and green. Okay, so at least we have played 3 green cards already and 1 of the blue. So there's only 2 green left, 3 blue. In a deck of 17 minus 6, so in a deck of 11, we will see. Our first turn was already laid out as well. Do I want to go here or here? That's the question. I think I would rather progress from the portal towards the core tile, so let's go here. That's 3 movement, and then we have a combined movement and influence of 6 to explore. The rose comes up red, so you rotate it twice counterclockwise. So that's the natural orientation, and we rotate it to red. And we reveal quite a nice tile. So there's a dungeon and a mountain range, and both the keep and the mage tower. And we do have Tremor or Earthquake in hand already, so if we get access to black mana, taking either one of these will be quite trivial. Well, it still costs a lot of mana, but it will be very easy to take. So maybe that's our way to level, get more spells. And I especially like the dungeon here. But it's in the wasteland, so we will have movement cost of 4 to even get to it. But let's clean up the first turn. I will hold on to the other cards, of course. The die depletes to gold, and unfortunately we don't have Ops of Twilight in the Elementalist token deck, and we are still drawing up to 5 cards only. There's a mana draw, a wound, and a stunned resolve. Okay, together with the wound, that might be good. Second dummy turn, and this pretty much decides if we are really unlucky or not. Let's see. White, red, and green. Okay, so pretty much the worst case scenario. So 3 more cards. That's red, blue, and white. That's so bad. that's so bad. 12 cards already played out of 17. There's only 5 left. And I think there's even a green left in there and 1 or 2 blues. So we really have to, well, we only have to avoid the green. That's the good part about this. If we hit the blue, 1 more card. So we have 3 turns or 4, and it's actually not that unlikely that we have 4 more turns. But we are already talking about the end of the round and just stepped out of the mage tower, so not good. Maybe I should have thought about learning Snowstorm. Now that I think about it, I didn't even consider staying in the mage tower because I cannot hire anything, but I can learn spells, and I do have Bright Negotiation. And I had Threaten and a blue source die, so I could have learned Snowstorm. That might have helped a lot in the dungeon. My units won't follow me into the dungeon, that's the sad part. So unfortunately, I should probably prepare for a turn. For example, I can play the Start Resolve for 5 movement and go to the dungeon space. But the question really is if I want to enter it without any other cards than Tremor and without any units, so that's probably Suicide. And we would only play 2 cards, so we are so far behind the dummies. We really have to play much faster. So do we let the dungeon go? That's the question here. With 10 movement we could reach the tower, where we can use the unit, but even with the concentration and Start Resolve, where we can toss other cards to further increase the effect of Start Resolve, that's the main power. But you don't have that many cards anyway. If I start tossing, well, if I play the concentration with it, well, it wouldn't matter then, so I could just toss it for +2. That would bring it up to 7, so we're missing 3 movement, so tossing yet another card would not even be 10. It feels like this is going downhill quite quickly, but we will not give up so easily. I think I have to try the dungeon. There's no need in getting pressure too much, and this is stuff I want to keep. It's sad that we have to play the Start Resolve, but I feel like I need these cards. Yeah, let's just be that slow. There's our black mana if you want it. We only draw 2 cards. There's a Swiftness, nice. And Noble Manners, okay. And there's the Moment of Truth. If the dunny gives us 4 or 3 turns. Blue, green, that's nice. And a blue, so 1 more card. Red, is this even blue then? No, it's not, okay. So we do have 3 more turns. So we already played the 4th one. So 1 turn taking the dungeon, 1 turn taking the mage tower maybe, and revealing to the core tiles. With the map that should not be a problem, I hope. But we do really have to enter the dungeon now. There's no choice in this. And pray that we can just kill it at range. Well, if not, we do have Tremor. Well, even without, we can use Tremor and Concentrate Swiftness or just the Swiftness. Yeah, I think we can take the dungeon definitely. Maybe not at range. That might not be possible depending on the token. Let's just draw 1. And the defenders of the dungeon are a Hydra. Okay, so that's 6 armor, but no fortification or physical resistance. That's the important part. But it's out of range of the concentrated swiftness. So I do think I will use tremor and swiftness then. So that's a combined total of 6. So armor reduction -3. Swiftness has range attack 3 that will kill it. We do have white in the source, at least for the swiftness. So we would need to use this for a green token to cast tremor. There's no use in casting Earthquake, where we could use, maybe we should, basically. Do we want to hold on to the concentrated swiftness? So we could use the black mana from the source to cast Earthquake. Actually, it does not do anything if the enemy is not fortified, so I just realized. I thought it would at least subtract more armor if you power it, but it's just the fortification effect. Upgrading it to Earthquake doesn't do anything if the enemy is not fortified. So I was thinking that if I can play the Noble Manas sideways, for example, to kill it, I can hold on to the concentrated swiftness, so that doesn't work. So it's really this combination. Tremor to reduce the armor to 3, swiftness to kill it. And I should be thankful that it works that easily, but I have to think about tossing cards, because I won't see that many if I'm going that slow, just playing 2 cards again. I think I will probably play the mana draw to turn the gold die white, just so I don't have that many mana cards in hand. Use the 1 token for this, drop the Noble Manas, because I won't use influence now. Well, I could for exploring, but I don't think I want to. I think I want to go on to the Mage Tower. Then I will have these 2 cards. No, I will have played this as well. So that's the point. So I'm holding on to concentration, but everything else is played, because I have a huge deck in front of me and only 2 turns left. So let's do it like this, because this die stays then. I get another black, okay. Tokens and the crystal are discarded. I've played all these cards. The Hydra is defeated, so I get 5 fame, 17 due to the Blitz bonus. I'm leveling, must not forget that, but I'm also getting a reward first. Die comes up white, so it's an artifact. Choices between the Tome of All Spells, which I love, or learn to love, and Above Starsdawn. Okay, that's even better, I guess. So I learn to love this because it allows you to cast the spell from the offer with the advanced effect even at day without paying anything, and that's huge. You don't need to organize getting the black mana, the regular mana, having the spell in hand in your final assault round, where it might be at the bottom of the deck, and so on. So this is really huge. And the regular effect allows you to pretty much do the same thing, but you don't break it, but you still don't have to pay, but it's just the regular effect of the spell, which more often than not is quite huge. You do have to discard a card to a matching color. But the Bow of Starsdawn is a completely different thing, because it can double your range attack. And in a scenario where enemies are not fortified, this is too huge to pass. And the regular effect is to discard cards for range attack 2, which also allows you to, well, do some really crazy things in the snowballing phase. So I think I have to play with the Bow of Starsdawn, if for no other reason than I didn't have access to it in the last games at all. So I really like to get some experience in with the Bow of Starsdawn. So the dungeon is conquered, put our shield there, and then we process the level up. And the skill choice is between the inspiration skill, which is huge, so once per round you can ready or heal a unit, or day sharpshooting. So it's 2 range attack at day, 1 at night. And considering that I just took the Bow of Starsdawn, it's probably something I should take. But then again, it might be a trap, because it's only doubled once when I break the artifact. Without that, it has nothing to do with it. Well, it can produce range attack without having to discard too many cards. And in the final assault, I'm probably going down to 1, because it's probably nighttime. Let's be honest here. I don't see myself with how it's going to take down the High Priestess at day. So I'm not sure about this. So this could allow me to ready a unit like the Crossbowmen and use their range attack again as well, even at night. And once I get better units, obviously it will be even better. So I really like that skill. Freezing power, so siege attack of 1 or ice siege attack of 1 would mean I need to take Diplomacy. Diplomacy actually might be good for the High Priestess, because she has so many elemental attacks and I will have to block them. And I can use Eyes of Fire, block with influence, and I do have Pride Negotiation as well, so that might be a good block card. I'm not sure if I can pick up that many more block cards, but I seriously think that I should take Blood Rage and maybe even Counter Attack to just get the raw power going. But what is better for me now? When taking the keep, I will have the Bow of Starsdawn, but it's most likely useless, at least the range attack part. I do have 2 units, so I can't even prevent the attack, so blocking is not that useful most likely. I think I rather take the raw power and then I'm starting with the blood rage, I think. Or do I take the counter attack? Unfortunately, if an unfortified enemy does not attack, well, it's unfortified, so it doesn't help in the tower. Maybe I do need a block. That's rough decisions here. I feel like these skill choices are all interesting, and the advanced actions as well, and all of them are of a color the dummy doesn't have. Well, if I don't pick up Demolish, he will get a red crystal, so the white card would be better to leave. There is a synergy with Bright Negotiation and Diplomacy. If I power this, I will pretty much able to block whatever's in the tower. But I won't get another card that soon. And I don't have healing yet. So taking all these wounds from Blood Rage might not be advisable, but I don't have to get a wound. And I always have in the back of my mind that the High Priestess with level 8 has 5 armor, so I need 40 to defeat her. Unless I'm bringing her down to some other armor value that, well, it's elusive and at that point. So I would have to block all the attacks. Yeah, so most likely it's 40 armor, even if I bring her down in 2 goes. So where does this come from? The Bows of Starstorm doubles, that's nice, but it's only for range and siege attacks. It's not doubling the regular attacks. That would be the sword. And I don't have that many sources of range attack yet. So as with the Necromancer, it might be that I kill all the other tokens at range, but the High Priestess herself I will probably take down in melee. I should probably pick up the Snowstorm, because then I have siege attack 8 that I can turn into a range ice attack of 16. So I can turn siege attack into range attack and double it. I think I take the inspiration. I think it's more versatile than having the range attack, and at night it might just be 1. So the argument with both Starstorm for doubling is really not that good. And for the same reason, one siege attack will not cut it as well. And the dummy reveals his motivation skill, okay. And as a card, I don't have red in the source, and I do have a white die. Maybe I'm crazy, but I do like the Diplomacy. I don't have green as well, but I can produce everything but green with it. So, that's hard. That's really hard. The Illusionist can even give me influence for more block. There is a synergy there. The problem will also be that I still have a hand limit of 5. I have to level again to get up to 6. So I'm drawing the artifact now in whatever I choose and then only 2 more cards. I don't even have movement currently. And I would need movement 6 to even reach the tower. Drawing movement and attack is even more unlikely. So if I take Blood Rage now, at least I only need movement. Maybe I should prepare for taking a different route. For example, going straight by the tower because it's so rough to assault it. Provoking, then due to ambush the Elven Protectors, use the crossbowmen for block 3, then they are blocked and the counter attack with a red mana which I can get here will bring it up to 7 and kill them. That's the most pragmatic thing. If I take Blood Rage, I will get a wound that I can't deal with. I think I take the counter attack. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think I take the counter attack. And it's replaced with Firebolt, so another range attack that I might double in the end. Alright, so we took the Bow of Starstorm as a reward from the dungeon. We leveled up, took Inspiration. If nothing else, it will be another white crystal. And we took the counter attack, so leveling is done. And we will draw now up to 5 cards, unfortunately, only. So there's a counter attack in the Bow of Starstorm, and we really need movement now. There's a stamina, nice. And a rage. The dummy exhausts his deck, so we have 2 turns now. This one and the next. So again, tactic selection was quite stupid of me to go with the Long Night. Have the dummy even go before me. Well, that was unlucky, not stupid. And then he went so fast that there's no chance in hell that we can even go through the deck once. So Long Night is quite, well, it's not doing anything for me. So maybe with the knowledge that I had a badly prepared deck, I should have gone with just From the Dusk and just, well, be sure to have more turns. Well, I don't know. Hindsight is 20/20, as it said, so what do we do now? So the resource for the bow, unfortunately, is just cards, which I don't have that many of. So if I want to move at all, I have to play the stamina. If I could provoke the Elven Protectors, which I could by moving like this, I could play the bow and discard all the other cards, and its range attack 6, it would kill it as well. That much for my counter attack play. But I would at least draw the rest of my deck then, and be at least in this position here, but I need to reveal 2 tiles to get to the core tiles for the next day. Alright, so we have to catch up, and maybe a play is to use the concentration with the stamina, because this gives us move 6, which allows us to reach the tower. And we then do have a lot of attack cards, but unfortunately not matching mana. But we do have our unit. So we can even use this to heal a unit, which will allow us to have them soak up a lot of damage. We do have some block, we do have some range attack. We will have some options, but what I like is that I can progress then. I have to get beyond this mountain range, and it's a good tile to explore then, and we do still have the map, so I hope we can reveal another core tile. Using or killing this enemy would help with exploring, and we can't actually use concentration, I just realized, so it's a nice plan, but we don't have the mana. Alright, so maybe the play is then to reveal a tile here and hope that we can enter it using the ambush ability. It doesn't have ambush. It's one of the original place tokens, so it doesn't ambush us. That's sad. Okay, so with the forest we can't even reach it that well. So the best we can actually do is a movement 4 with stamina. Maybe we do just have to use Bright Negotiation in the Illusionist for an influence 6 to then reveal a tile. So we can reveal this then, and then we can see how we move on. I think that's the play here. We have to use what we have. We can reveal tiles without movement, which we are lacking currently, because we can then hold on to the other 2 movement points, and with any luck you can enter this tile. And we can use the map for the core tile. So we have at least accomplished our main objective to get to the core tiles. I think I have to do that. So we use the source die on stamina for movement 4. Movement 2 will bring us here. We then use the illusionists and the Bright Negotiation for influence 6, which at night, due to Bright Negotiation only giving 2 influence at night, this is enough to pay the triple explore cost of this tile here. Rose comes up black, so it will be rotate 180 degrees, which unfortunately means that the keep is rotated away from us. We do have a mountain, the other monster then, and a ruin where we don't know what is inside unless we walk onto that space. And with the remaining move 2, I will probably continue moving here, because this is forest at night, so 5 movement if I want to challenge them, but they would allow me to place another tile. So we are really unlucky that there are no rampaging enemies on both these tiles we explored. But at that point I think I'd rather go to the ruins next turn and try to use the bow than going into the mage tower. At least it's not pressing, and this costs a lot of movement. But do we really play just 1 card now? But what's the alternative? We can use card sideways, of course, to move into the ruins. So that would be 3 cards. Or put in a different way, we can keep 1. This is really our ticket to power whatever, so because we have such a dead source where we reroll 1 die, and we do have white mana and a white crystal, and can even get another white from the illusionists if we ready them. But that's our ticket to mana. The bow is actually not that useful, because we do not have that many cards. We didn't level yet, so our hand limit is really limiting factor here. Where we could keep it and hope that this is a combat where we can kill everything with range and then produce a combined range attack of 10. If we get a swiftness, it can be 11 if we power that, but it's just 1 point difference. But maybe but that's a gamble. I mean, there are tokens like we've seen in the first altar in the 1 game where we had 3 green enemies and 2 had fortification and 2 had physical resistance. So it was really, well, actually no, I think 1 we could kill at range, 2 had fortification, and 1 additionally had physical resistance. So if you run into stuff like this, it won't help at all. And then we'd rather have these raw power things here, but we don't have the mana for them. Let's see what we have still in the deck. It's hard to get all these cards, but there will be another swiftness from the white cards at least. From the greens, there will be a card to heal. Okay, from the reds there will be another rage and an improvisation, and then there will be a lot of blue cards, so the crystallize, the determination, and the stamina. But I do think we should know what's coming up in the ruins and progress. So what do we keep, what do we toss? It's hard to justify tossing these 2 cards here, because they're both scaling cards and we only have like a regular rage in the deck, stuff like this, the determination, but also stuff like tranquility, crystallize. They don't do much for us, but if I keep this, I have to toss this, and I might not even be able to power it. I think it all comes down to that this strategy does not need any mana, so I'm trying it. So we are playing all this sideways for movement 3, and Norowas enters the ruins, or the ruin space. We will not encounter it obviously this turn, but we will know what's coming. And at least we are playing a bit faster through our deck then. So we can hold on to the Bow of Starstorm, and let's see what this ruin actually is about. It's a magic altar. At that point I feel like the game is trolling me, so I just tossed a card that gives me mana. And we have a pretty dead source and only 1 crystal, so that's quite unlikely to take. What can you do? Okay, so Bow of Starstorm at that point is quite useless. But let's reroll. It's another white, so it's not getting better. It feels like this is turning into postmortem. We'll see. So 5 cards, unfortunately. So we do have an improvisation, a rejuvenate, which can give me a green mana. That's interesting. A crystallize. and a Rage. The dummy announces end of round. So this is what we have. So a green mana, a white mana, unfortunately only a white mana. Yeah, it doesn't work out. I think at that point we spend the map and we place it here because we do need the options. So we don't use the range that it would give us, but I think it's better to have options. Rose comes up blue and it's the green city. So the friendly city where we can hire next day. That's nice. It's swampland, unfortunately. And we do have some sprites here and the others in Tower Outrider token, a village, a glade. Yeah, so those tokens won't help me level, but they will reveal the rest of the tiles. And at this point, I think I should think about taking the keep. It's movement 3 that I can reach with improvisation, for example. I will ready the illusionist. I think that's quite clear, even though in the battle they won't help much unless I'm encountering magic familiars. So the reason to not ready them would be that I can heal a unit if I just soak up the damage instead. And I can ready them after the battle. So for the battle they will be quite useless anyway. Yeah, so there's no rush to do that actually. The bow could produce an attack of 4, which is pretty much the same as playing the Rage and these 2 cards sideways. Maybe I do want to crystallize, but we do have attack or block, same as here. And we do need a movement. I can't power this anyway, so I won't get a crystal. Healing, I hope I don't need, especially with this token. They both pretty much can absorb 4 damage, unless it's not physical, then I would have to wound the crossbowman. And readying a unit would also give me a crystal, because I can ready the illusionist. This source is so wide. Well, if I counter the familiars, they would have, I think, an armor value of 7. So that's 4 range attack, 6 range attack, so I'm short 1 again. I don't think the bow will do much for me. Since it doesn't count itself, it's just 2 cards is 2 attack basically, and I have to play another one, so maybe I toss even the bow. If I take the keep, I have to think about the sprites, unfortunately. I can make them not attack, that's probably preferable, but I would still have defend 1 and they're elusive, but a range attack of 3 will kill them. Or if I attack this token first, the defend will be spent and a range attack of 2 will kill them, which is the crossbowman. Which again means I don't need the bow unless I want to use the crossbowman for block instead of range attack. I think I will toss the crystallize because if I don't use a source die, I can ready the illusionist to get a white crystal instead. So I don't think I'm losing any options here. Let's assault the keep, I think. Let's see what happens. So Norowas assaults the keep with 3 movement to the hills by improvisation discarding crystallize. And I will provoke the sprites, unfortunately. Oh, they all have ambush anyway. I have to keep that in mind. I will lose a reputation and we will see. So let's discard them. That's already locked in then once I reveal information. And we do have the sprites and defenders are Guardian Golems. Oh no, oh no, oh no. That's probably the worst pull that I could even have gotten. Can I even reach 10 attack? So I think I can up to 7. With the crossbowman having attack 3, the rage 2, because I cannot power it, it's 5, 6, 7, or if I toss this, then yeah. At least they are trivial to deal with, so I can just bump them into the illusionist and nothing happens. If everything goes well, I will get an orb that makes an attack fire or ice, so the ice shards or the fire gem. So at the beginning of the next day I can just take the keep then. But at the moment I think I just have to withdraw them, take the penalty unfortunately, bump them into the illusionist, so I have to come up with range attack 3. That's already 2. I maybe can fake an attack here to pull the guard on this, but yeah, I don't want to get too technical here, because I'm not even sure this is legal. But I don't think there's anything in the rules that prevents you to make an attack stack that just doesn't kill the enemy. But let's not do that. So they have an armor of 3, 2 because of elusive and 1 by guarding themselves, so that's range attack 2, and then we can just discard or play the Bow of Starstone with the rage, so range attack 4, so this kills the sprites, gives me a fame, gives me a reputation, gives me a faction token as a reward, and those bump into illusionists, go back to the keep, I withdraw to the altar, maybe I can do that next day. And after the battle, I will ready the illusionists, get a white crystal, ready the illusionists, get a white crystal, so I will get 2 more white crystals, which is a bit sad looking at the source that it's just white, white, white with an altar that needs all the colors. So we have at least made use of our full hand, and we get this token here, which is a Tome of Relearning. So we can swap off one of our skills with any one from the offer, even our own. I like that so much. That's such a huge token. But at that point, it will give us maybe the motivation, maybe the freezing power to just get at least 1 ice attack. Let's hold on to this. And unfortunately, that's the end of the first night. And at that point, really, it feels like the game is trolling me with the mana situation, with the altar coming up, with the Bow of Starstone that doesn't do anything, with dragging myself with my last efforts to the keep just to see the Guardian Golems with a 5 armor of physical resistance that I can't even kill and the attack is trivial for me, but it doesn't matter. I don't get the fame, I don't get the keep. So yeah, so we are not snowballing that fast, unfortunately, but we will see the defenders of everything here. We already have the green city to hire. It's not all lost. Let's just press on and see if we can defeat the High Priestess after all. So let's clean up. Dummy gets the red crystal from Demolish, and I will get rid of Restoration, I think. Or do I give the dummy another? No, I don't want to, because I have given him a green card already. So piling on green is not that advisable. So let's get rid of this as well. He picks up a white card. That's nice at least, because he doesn't have a white crystal yet. And I think I will leave the Blood Rage for the time being. We do have a Crystal Mastery as a replacement. There's a Flame Wave or Flame Wall, and the Wings of Wind. We ready the units. That's the second time we didn't use our tactic, unfortunately. Not a good sign. And since we have revealed the core tile, we'll only have 2 silver units now, which are the Swordsmen and the Northern Monks. And more importantly, the elite units are the green heroes that can heal. And since I have Bright Negotiation, it's not hard to activate them in an assault. And the white heroes have a range attack of 7. Now that's insanely good with the Bow of Starsdawn. I can double that to 14. So I should definitely pick them up, but I don't have a reputation to speak of, unfortunately. I was much more popular in the Realm of the Dead when playing Torvak than I am now with Norowas. Even I have noble manners. And I even burnt down a monastery in the last game and played Threaten. Yeah, we just have a distinct lack of rampaging enemies that I actually kill, and they don't have Pursuit, they just have Ambush. So yeah, we got +2, but we already managed to get -4 with 2 assaults, probably Threaten. Not sure where the last reputation loss came from. The source is showing everything but green, at least a little bit of options. So we are shuffling the dummy deck. There's an additional green card, additional white card, so it has now 18 cards. The crystal of all colors but white. And unfortunately 3 green crystals. So we have to avoid these 5 green cards. Shouldn't be that likely to hit them, at least hit more than 1. So it was really unlucky. Him going first and hitting green twice. But you have to deal with this. Can abort the mission, of course, and restart, but I don't want to do that. I really want to show you how it is to play Mage Knight with a lot of consideration, I hope. Yeah, so making good decisions. If it really goes downhill, I have to do post-mortem again. I think I will do, even though it takes a lot of time. But let's not give up. So yeah, only at after half point, but we do really have to level. The altar would really bump us upwards with the fame. So yeah, so we refresh our skill and shuffle. For the Elementalists, the red tokens actually are either elusive or physical resistance, so range attack again is not that good against them. So it's quite nice that at level 8 at least we still have only 1 of these dragons and then 4 of the more mundane enemies. So hopefully the range attack will wipe them out quite quickly. Maybe I should have taken Diplomacy to get rid of this Ice Attack 7 with Paralyze, because I do have to have a plan how to deal with this. Alright, so no keep for me, so it's still a hand limit of 5. Our initial hand is the Bow of Starsdawn right away. A Swiftness, a Determination, a Crystallize, that's nice, and a Rage. As for tactics, we have the option to go first, so that's really no difference again. We can repair our hand with a chance that the dummy will go before me, or we can go, well, with a 1 in 3 chance we go last, but at least have 7 cards in the beginning to offset the hand limit problem I still have. If I pick up mana draw, then we are pretty much guaranteed to be able to take the altar. I can do Crystallize to green, then I will have white and green. The source is showing blue and red, so won't be a problem to do the altar, but I'm not guaranteed to draw that, so that's that. The defenders I will see in my first turn, I think, and if I enter the tower, I will provoke these enemies because I have ambush and it's from range 2 to range 2. That's actually quite good because it can mean that we can be more efficient with our turns. So maybe we avoid the keep for now and go to the tower, learn a spell, probably Snowstorm. Then there will even be another keep here. Maybe with this keep we can go to the Hidden Valley if it's here with a hand limit increase. That would be nice. But where's the movement coming from? I don't have a movement card except Swiftness. I really do need more turns, so taking Great Start doesn't feel right. But maybe I get mana draw, maybe I get a movement card. That's probably worth a turn, because what do I do otherwise? I can Crystallize, and that's pretty much it. So I'm redrawing just 1 card. I can rethink, but then a 1 in 3 chance becomes a 2 in 3 chance, and I will swap out the cards instead of drawing them additionally. And I do like the cards in the combination we have here, because the Swiftness will kill them with the Bow of Starsdawn and another card. I think I'm taking a Great Start, and let's see what I get. Let's see what the dummy is doing. So it's a 1 in 3 instead of a 2 in 3, so it's only Great Start now. That helps me. Dummy is playing rethink. Okay, so dummy's still going first. Let's give me a really short first turn, please. White, blue, and blue. That's one more card, which is blue. Okay, quickly going through his blue cards. All right. I'm drawing 2 more cards, which is a stamina movement, nice, and another swiftness, okay. And since it's our first turn now, we do see the defenders, which are fire mages. So let's see, it's all open information now. So we can take a blue die for stamina to enter the mage tower, which is in rough terrain here, so in the wasteland. We don't then have access to further dice from the source, and we would provoke these here because of ambush, and we would have to defeat these. So for the centaurs, I would use the white crystal here and maybe the crossbowman or the bow of Starstorm. I will most likely not block the fire mages, but since they are fortified, I can't use the illusionist, which makes the determination quite pointless. So I could use the bow for range attack 2. So with the swiftness, we kill the centaurs. As for the attack, we could assign them to the crossbowman, but then we couldn't use them for attack. So I would get a wound, they would get a wound, but I can just heal them, that's the point. Or if I don't even bother, because I probably want to hire 2 heroes. I'm not sure that's wise actually to hire 2 heroes. 45 attack, I would need a rage, and then probably a swiftness with another crystal, because I don't have access to another mana source, so that's 5 attack to kill them. And do I want to keep the bow or the crossbowman? I'm thinking about taking Snowstorm, which just kills the golems, but I would have to traverse with 6 movement. But it might be worth it to get 4 more fame, and I can hire the heroes there without even going to the green city, but it's kind of out of position. Yeah, so it's the wrong direction. The altar would have been nice, but do I wait a turn? It's no use in keeping the bow for the fortified sides, and I do really need to level, so maybe the altar is the way to go. Or do I take the keep first and roll it up in this direction? But how do I produce attack 10? That's not efficient at all. I think I should keep going. No, let's do it like this. Okay, so I'm using the source type of stamina, produce move 4 for the wasteland. Get a penalty for assaulting a keep. I'm provoking these enemies because they have ambush. So let's discard the shield. And Norowas is attacking the tower. In a range attack phase, I'm using a crystal with swiftness. For range attack 3, I'm the bow of Starstorm by discarding determination for another range attack 2. There's range attack 5, Centaur Outriders are killed. That's 2 fame and 1 reputation, and I do get a reward later. The fire mages then give me a wound, and they give the crossbowman a wound, so 6 minus 4 is 2, so I get him 1 wound only. And then I'm playing another crystal with swiftness for range attack 3, a rage for attack 2, that's attack 5, which kills the fire mages. We get a fame of 5, which means that we are leveling, and there's no harm in doing that now, so we don't forget. And that's pretty much it, so this will be re-rolled. We can't crystallize anything. Die comes up green, that's nice. So we do have these 2 cards in hand. We mark the mage tower with our shield and get the spell as a reward first. And I will definitely take the snowstorm because it's range attack, so definitely not the flame wall, and the wings of wind would be nice to move, but I think the snowstorm is just much better to pick up now. And there's the fireball. The matching spell to our snowstorm. So let's get this reward too, which is so nice, okay. These are healing herbs that give me 1 heal, or I can throw away a wound from my discard pile. And now it's actually interesting, when do I get this? When I defeat them as a right away, because then I could after the battle use this to heal the wound, or do I get it as a combat reward at the end of turn? Yeah, so I do think they are combat rewards, so I will just get them at the end of turn. So it won't allow me to heal this wound now, but at least I have a hand limit of 6 now, so we did the combat reward of the token, the tower, did the level up, so now we are drawing up to 6 cards. And there's no need to decide if you want to heal the unit now. So there's the snowstorm, there's a tremor, a concentration, and a stamina. So getting up to the second turn, and the dummy plays blue, red, and white finally. Okay, slower. I think he has played all his blue cards, but there's still a lot of green. We could do the altar finally, using crystallize and concentration with another mana die. That would take 2 turns. So move, crystallize, heal. Could be 1 turn, and then next take the altar. That would level us up again. And I think we do need to be efficient with how we level, because we can't just move somewhere else. We don't have that much movement. Yeah, I think I will do that because I'm already here. And I do have the snowstorm for the keep, so that will be another for fame and a place to hire, because the city is kind of out of position also with the swamp. Well, I will be at the edge of the map anyway, so I will probably have to cross to the city. Maybe I should learn the Wings of Wind. You know what, let's do that. So we're using Bright Negotiation and the Illusionist for an influence of 7, and then use a white mana to learn the Wings of Wind. We do heal the wound, and I do think I will not use the white die, but a white crystal to learn it, and instead use crystallize on green I will keep the blue for the snowstorm or for the altar, whatever comes first. So we also played this because I can still use this to Red Illusionist to get a white one back. There's our third mana. So let's see what we get. We can't move away, unfortunately, and we will see the Wings of Wind. But the Wings of Wind will allow me to get out of this bad position here. But I really want to use this chain of things now to get a lot of fame and level again. So let's see what the spell offer refreshes to. There's a Burning Shield. Okay. Actually, no. Let's crystallize not a green, because I can still use the Tome of Relearning with the motivation skill to get a green and draw more cards. So green, white, red and blue, and I need another blue. So let's get the red out of the way. So we have this for the altar. Yes, so I like that more. Okay, let's see what happens. So let's reroll this. Perfect, comes up blue, so lucky for once. And we will draw up to 6 cards, which gives us the Wings of Wind and one more card, which is a March. Okay, let's see what dummy is up to. Green, perfect, red, and another green. So 3 more. Green, red, and another green. Nice. All right. So a lot of green out of the way. Has 5 cards left. So unless we hit a green, it's 4 turns. I like that. So I think we are catching up. So we are now in our 3rd turn. And in our 3rd turn, we will, I think, ready the Illusionist. Let's see. So we can use this movement, but I really don't want to use both. So let's keep one of them. Probably play the Tremor sideways because I don't have a use yet for this. Let's move 3, which would bring us to the altar. Yes, and we should do all this now. Okay, so we ready the Illusionists. Now let's see. Maybe you don't need the white mana. It really depends on if you want to replace the crossbowmen or not, or if you want to heal them. So on the altar we would need red, then one of the source dice. So yeah, but I want to use this to get the motivation. It would be green. So we need blue and white. And we do have 2 blue in the source. So I probably take this. And we have the concentration to produce a white, funnily enough. Or we don't use it at all and use this instead. Yeah, I think I want to do that. So I'm readying the Illusionist, using them again, get a white crystal. And I have to decide if I want to use the concentration instead. But then I use the Tome of Relearning, get unfortunately rid of inspiration to pick up the motivation. So that's a crystal. These are both crystals, so let's not get ahead of ourselves, but let's use motivation now for green. That locks in this movement because we are then drawing cards. But we have a green token now. We don't even need to decide yet what we want to pull from the source, but we are getting 2 cards. One is the threaten, one is a counterattack. Okay, so to deal with the altar, we do need a red and we do need a white. So these are both our crystals, or we could play the concentration instead. And I think I have to play faster, so let's hold on to 1 crystal and let's maybe hold on to the red one. So let's produce a red with the concentration. Let's take blue from the source because we have to and use white. So this was played. These were already played and locked in. And now we have the mana for the altar. So we have solved these ruins. This is all gone. This has to be rerolled, but we get 10 fame. So we do level and we hold on to these cards for movement, for taking the keep, for hiring maybe. Don't know if I should hold on to the counterattack at this moment. We do have to toss a card probably to get to movement 3. So we could do this with the counter. Let's just hold on to it. I don't know. So let's reroll this. Comes up white and we do level up. Another skill choice. It's between Whispers in the Treetop, so a lot of mana. I liked it a lot. And the leadership skill, which means that once a turn when I activate a unit, I can increase the attack of a unit. So range attack by 1, regular attack by 2, or block by 3. But I do like the mana because I'm really lacking mana. There's also the freezing power. I've taken a skill already from Goldex, so it's correct here. There's none missing. So freezing power, blood rage, or any of those, and I can choose freely. I think I want to Firebolt for more range attack and mana, but the blood rage is just so much attack. Well, if I use the Wings of Wind to go to the green city, I can learn other cards as well. I think I'm taking the Firebolt for now just to get the crystal, and I'm taking this again just to get the mana and the crystal. Let's do that. There's some block at least, but the Elementalist has an ice attack on level 8, so that's the wrong type of block for me, unfortunately. Alright, so we are drawing up to 6 cards still, so we are just drawing the Firebolt, and then it's the dummy's time. Let's hope he's not hitting a green card. Red, white, white. Very nice. Is there even a green in there? Yeah, there has to be, the one we added, yeah. Alright, so 3 more turns. And I do want to take the keep just to have the supply line increase and another for fame. Might be wrong to spend a turn on that instead of going here right away. But that would be 2 movement. Counterattack would be 3. That means we can assault the keep, was in the hillside. Take another hit to reputation. Then we bump them into the Illusionists. play the Snowstorm, which is Ice Attack 5 that kills the golems. And we are using this for red crystal. And we hold on to the influence card and the movement card that we both still need. So we mark the keep with our shield. These cards are all played. Get 4 fame. Die comes up green. And at long last we are drawing up to 7 cards. March, Rejuvenate, Improvisation, Noble Manners, so that's 6, and a Wood. Dummy exhausts his deck. Alright, so now it counts. We probably want to play the Noble Manners with a white. So we have influence 4. Actually, I did kill an enemy with a bow of Starstorm. If I remember correctly, it was the sprites, and this actually gives us a fame. I did not give me this fame because for all enemies killed in this phase. So when I entered the keep and I provoked them, because they have ambush, so these here, I had to kill them. Or was it with the Centaur Outriders? So I used the swiftness on them, and then the distinction was crossbowman or bow, and I used the bow there. Yeah, so maybe even twice, I don't know. I think I leave it like that. I am missing fame, I think. But I'm hesitant to just give them to me now. Definitely a misplay here. Yeah, without looking that up, I'm not just giving me fame now. So let's leave that be for the moment. But we do get a fame and a reputation if I use this during interaction, which I will do. And with the Bright Negotiation, we are already at influence 7. So because it's day. We do need 9 for the heroes because the bonus is 0. So double is still 0. So we can use the Threaten to bring it up to 9. And this will hire us the white heroes. We will then use the heroes for an influence of 5, which gives us another reputation at the end of turn. We then flip this skill to get a white crystal and a green token. And the green token allows us to ready a level 3 unit. So you ready the heroes and use it again. It's another influence 5, so you at 10 again and get 2 reputation at the end of turn, which will then allow us to hire the green heroes. And replacing the crossbowman, unfortunately, but I think I want to hold on to Illusionist, and that's the turn. So we get back our skill, get rid of the token, reroll the die, comes up blue, and all these cards are blade. And we do draw up to 7, and we only have 3 cards left in the deck. So there's a mana draw, a rage, and a stout resolve. And at this time I should not forget that from Noble Manners we get a fame, we get a reputation, and we use heroes twice, so that's 3 reputation. Almost forgot that as well. So dummy announces end of round, and now we are in the final turn. So what we do want to do here is to use the Song of Wind with the March, and this means we need a white source die, and then we can move 2 revealed spaces into the green city. I think I also forgot to reveal another tile when we killed the centaurs, and probably even when we killed those. That's really tricky with the scenario to, I should know this, I should remember this. It's really essential stuff, because this means we pretty much have revealed everything else. We can still do that, it doesn't change much. I then would have had more information, not less, so I think we should fix all that, and we should probably also fix the fame issue. So I will probably stop the recording, check it, and fix all this. Well, I will fix it with you on camera, but I will have to look it up. Because we do, with the green city, we do have 2 rampaging enemies from the factions. That also gives us faction tokens. I think those I got. The first one gave me the map from here. Then I got the heal from the sprites, but I could not use it right away. No, the heal was from the centaurs, because I took a wound from the fire mages, and I could not use it right away. And the Tome of Relearning I probably then got from the sprites. But it's 3, and there are 3 open spots for rampaging enemies. That's correct, but I only revealed 1 tile here, and these 2 I did with influence, and this one with the map. So there's 2 tiles missing actually, and this would already be all the core tiles that we have. So maybe I would have changed something, but I think this was quite essential, all this with the hiring, getting all the fame, leveling so often. So I think it's all good and fine, but we really have to fix that. But I think it doesn't matter for the last turn, so let's finish the day and then look it up. So this will bring us to the city. We will then definitely do another interaction. I don't think I can heal, and I don't want to use the heroes to heal. So I will probably use the mana draw to pull another die to power the stout resolve. I can then discard the wound, can discard the rage, and can discard the improvisation. So we will have a lot of influence. So let's see. We do, well, I can't double it because I already hired the heroes, but it might have been a misplay, but I thought this was far too nice. But I am at +1 now. So if I start interacting with Bright Negotiating, I'm already at 4. Using the heroes will bring it up to 9, and we'll give a reputation. Let's this time get it right away so we don't forget. So that's 9. This is another 3, that's 12, and 2 for each of these cards, that's 18. So in the green city, that's 3 advanced actions. So I will do pick up the Blood Rage for 6. Replacement is the Song of Wind, so we still have 12 influence left. So I can either take now the Song of Wind to just prepare. At that point, it would really be good to know where I want to go. I'm not sure if I want to Crystal Mastery or the Ice Shield. It's just that from the Elementalist tokens, they sometimes do have fire tech, but actually one token has cold fire, one has both attacks and is resistant against both, so the advanced effect won't even do anything. So I'm just not sure if it will do much for me. So we might just take cards from the pile and see what they are. Never done that, to be honest. But there's nothing else to hire. There's nothing else to do with the influence. We could heal instead, but at that point it's already too late. Well, it is too late, so we would have to have decided what we want to use. So probably, yeah, so to come up with 6, so these discard cards are already 6, these 3 are 6, but then this is all decided, then the green mana is already used. So yeah, let's not go down this route, so let's take 2 advanced actions. But I think I will just draw one. It's Intimidate, that couldn't have been better, so another huge attack card, nice. And I think I will just take another one from the pile. There's the Heroic Tail, okay, influence. Might come in handy. Might be useless, let's see. But that's the end of the day then. So these are both re-rolled, but it doesn't matter. This is all played. And we did get 3 more advanced actions in the end in the green city. Oh, we did have the shield. Yeah, so it's even 1 more influence, but it doesn't change anything. We already reached 18, so the shield is really not that important. But these pickups are huge. That's 16 attack already. All right, so that's the end of the second day. I think we have catched up a lot, but we do not have our 4th command slot yet. There's no way to get it here to hire something, so maybe we take the keep. And I should probably have more fame. I will have to look that up with the Bow of Starstorm. Let's see if the Hidden Valley is actually here. Then that would probably mean I take the keep and then go from there with a huge assault. I do have the motivation skill, so we can refresh that already. That's so nice because it also gives us mana and 2 cards. I do have even more mana. Having these 2 greens is really nice. We do have Tremor. We have 2 heroes. We do have to pay influence to activate them, but we will have 2 here at least. Then maybe a Threatener or something like this. Or if nothing else, we can even use the Illusionist to just persuade them both. But the range attack 7 at least, that's really nice. So we ready them all. Give the dummy a red crystal and a blue card. And I will get rid of the Ice Shield, but probably not of the Fireball. But I'm not sure I can pick up a spell even. But if I can, then I would be interested in it. So let's just leave it there. So there's an offering. Ritual Attack and Crushing Bolt. The new silver units are the Guardsmen and Red Cape Monks. And the elite units are Freezers and the Autumn Guardians. So these would already take care of the High Priestess attack of 7. Because if I activate them with green mana, all units you control gain all resistances. And they do have 7 armor themselves, so they will have ice resistance, 7 armor. I can just bump them, the High Priestess, into them. Because they don't have Assassinate, so I should really pick them up. But the problem is how. How do I get the rest of the fame to level and be in a city to hire? So that's the puzzle we need to solve. Not sure if it's solvable. So I think this time it was the right choice. It get us going. And we did play our cards. Having these new cards in our inventory would not be that different. Maybe we could have milked the green city for more advanced actions, but that's about it. So yeah, I think that's fine. Source unfortunately shows a depleted die already and 2 white and a red. So that's the dummy deck shuffle. And we have a huge deck now. Unfortunately, there's also wounds in the deck, at least 1. Oh, it's just 1. Okay, so we have the bow. So this is our deck. And we do draw up to, because we are in a city where we are not leader, so we still have a hand limit of 7. So let's draw 7 cards. Threaten, counterattack, a wound, swiftness, a rage, the Bow of Starstorm right away, and a stamina. Alright, so before I stop the video, I think it's quite obvious that we have to reveal 2 tiles. I don't need to look that up, because this rampaging enemy gave us this tile. Then here we went through the desert without triggering the ambush. And we did use movement and influence with the Bright Negotiation. And then we went to the dungeon, but then we were thinking about how to proceed. And at that point, we did not want to take the tower right away. So we used, I think, the Illusionist for influence 4 with the Bright Negotiation to come up with a 6 influence to move there. We spent a movement card powered, so 2 movement to move here, 6 influence to reveal, and then we could even move here. And then we went to the ruins where we discovered the altar, holding on to the Bow of Starstorm. So this is all revealed naturally. And this was then revealed using the map we got from this enemy here. So just to give us more options. I think at that point I said, let's get more options before we decide if we want to go here. Then we went there, couldn't defeat it. But this triggered the ambush of this token, which then gave us probably the Tome of Relearning, but we did not reveal. And then we went back to the tower at the next day, and this triggered this ambush, and we killed the Centaur Outriders. And then there we got the wound, but we could not use this token right away because we only got it after the combat. And then we again did not reveal anything. Both were rampaging enemies. And there's really no options here. The core tiles have to go here, so the first has to go here, second has to go here, so we just fix that now. So if we are lucky, this is already Hidden Valley. That would be so nice. Let's see before rolling the rows. And it's not, so that's unfortunate. So this probably much means that we probably don't take the keep at all. And the last tile has the White City, where there will be a keep, so we actually know that. I should have known that, which is defended by 2 green Elementalist tokens. But let's roll for the orientation of this tile. Comes up red, so from the original orientation, which is like this, it's rotated twice. So there are mountains, a tomb, a white crystal mine, another altar, this time the blue one for 7 fame, and a mage tower with unknown defenders. Which means that the high priestess in the Hidden Valley will be here. Let's roll the orientation. So it's black, 180-degree flip. So this would be the regular orientation. 180-degree means 1, 2, and 3. So we do have the Hidden Valley. We do have spawning grounds. We do have a keep with 2 unknown defenders, yet unknown, but from the Elementalist faction. And we do have this dragon. And I just realized that with the White City tile, that's a given that there's a dragon. If you assault the necropolis without taking out the dragon, it will join because of ambush. Because you have to assault the city with coming from 2 spaces away to 1 space away. So you do have a second dragon in the battle unless you kill it first. So that's a bit of a problem. Alright, so what remains is how often we have used the Bow of Starsdawn. And I definitely used this because I did not activate the crossbowmen before wounding them. I used the bow with another card with the argument to go faster through the deck, and we didn't need it. When we took the mage tower, there was no point in holding on to this, because the next step would have been the altar and then the keep, where we got the snowstorm, so it was all already planned out, so why keep it? So I think the centaurs I did kill with the Bow of Starsdawn. So let's go up 1 fame. And with the sprites, I really don't remember, but I do remember that they had an armor of 3, but we did not have a swiftness, so we had to do it with 2 portions of 2, which pretty much means that it was the crossbowman and the bow probably, but this I would really have to look up. So maybe we leave it at this and keep in mind that we might be off by plus or minus 1. I'm not sure it's worth to interrupt here. Well, it would not be an interruption for you, but I don't really want to look that up now. And I don't think it matters too much. If we are off by 1 from leveling, then it will be more interesting. Which brings us to tactic selection, but we do need to add the tokens now for the High Priestess. So we do have to shuffle these because there's only 1 green left and she will get 2 greens. So this one and 2 of the dungeon enemies and a dragon. And then 1 of these, which is either a Centaur Outrider, which is most likely, or 1 of these sprites. So that's our entourage then. And how do we do this now? We should probably take the keep, and we can provoke the dragon if we move from the spawning grounds. That's good. So we have to take the keep with 2 green tokens and a dragon, but then it won't be part of the attack on the High Priestess, and we won't have a chance to hide the Alten Guardians then, because we're going back to the city, so back and forth is probably not advisable. Unfortunately, getting to the keep is quite rough. That's 5 movement and then 2 times Wasteland, so that's a combined of 9, even more 13. So 13 movement just to get there. Maybe the Song of Wind would have been good to pick up. Well, we are in the Green City, so we can pick it up. That's probably our first turn then, to just pick up Song of Wind. That can allow us to walk over water if we pay a blue. So plains, desert, and wastelands are reduced by 2. And if we walk over water, it's also 0. Also because the plane will be 0 then. So with Song of Wind, we only get 2 movement. But these 2 movements will already be free. And then the wasteland will be reduced by 2 to 2. So the movement of Song of Wind could allow us to just move like this. This will bring us to the spawning ground and trigger the dragon. That's probably a good turn 2. Turn 3 would then take the keep, because this gives us a supply line increase of 2. Then pop motivation and try the valley. And maybe we have to make it in 2 goes, if we can do it at all. Which means that I should probably take sparring power to build up even more hand size. I at least can then in the keep hire more units, like the guardsmen or the freezers, but not the Alten Guardians, but yeah, what can you do? But the attack of the High Priestess is really a problem. If I assign it to units, they would die. And I don't have access to units that have an armor of 7 or ice resistance, so 2 units would even die. If I want to block it, that's 14 block, that's insane, that's not good. So maybe we kill the entourage and just live with the fact that I lose the rest of my hand, which is probably not a big deal if I'm using the bow. So what do I take? Do I take Mana Search to fix the depletion? Preparation to pick up a card I need, but it's probably stupid to go most likely second and just have one more card cluttering up my hand, so I think I'd rather take Sparring Power now. This means we go second, but we will have at least a hand limit increase of 3 with the keep 2, with motivation, so we at least will have a lot of cards in hand. But it does mean that with all these cards in hand we can't get frozen. But then again, if we use the heroes for range attack, doubling this with the bow, then we can just let the heroes go. But as said, it leaves one attack open, and I have to assign it to yet another unit, which then also dies. But I have to do this. There's no way around that. Do I clear the spawning grounds? That's a question, and I have to deal with this dragon. These dragons are so annoying. A cold fire attack of 6, elusive with a 7 armor, so 14. If I take the wound, I have to come with a 14 attack. If I have to block it, it's 12 block again. But I don't really want to kill the dragon in the attack on the High Priestess. I should really get these ice shards and fire gems. That would be extremely helpful to augment the block with an element I need. So I will get 2 tokens here and the dragon will give me 1 as well. So it's probably something I have to hope for. The Cloak of Shielding would also solve the problem, I just realized, because then I can just ignore the paralyze effect. Yeah, so with all these tokens there should be something that helps me, unless I'm getting another mystical map. Well, a Tome of Relearning at least would give me access to more skills. But still, I need to somehow kill this dragon before I even take the keep and get more tokens. Or do I replace the Illusionists with the Alten Guardians? It really comes to bite me that I didn't level for another time to get the last slot. Or do I replace the Green Heroes even? Replacement would have to happen now before I get moving. And what I hire should help me with the dragon. Freezers won't work because the dragon is ice and fire resistant. Guardians would at least give me block 8, so I would have a chance to block the dragon, so I only need 7 attack. I probably should toss the green heroes or the illusionist and hire the guardians. Not doing that is probably stupid. And if I do, well, both give me influence. The heroes give me even a reputation. So after taking the keep, I can then, with the new slot, at least higher than the freezers or the guardsmen, which is more block. That's probably a good idea. But what does that mean for tactics? I really have to hope that the dummy gives me some time and is not hitting his green cards, because this would mean I hire. I'm not sure if I can also learn Song of Wind. That would be 17 fame then. No, influence, I mean. Yeah, so I do have 3. 1 from there, 1 from the shield, that's 5. Heroes give me 5, that's 10. I do have Threaten, that's 12. So it's enough to hire the Guardians, but not also Song of Wind, but I really need Song of Wind. Unless I'm also popping the Illusionist. I can ready 1 unit with my special Norowas skill. No, not this one, I mean the green card. But this would have been nice, but I swapped that out. And I still think it was good to swap that out instead of the influence, because I needed the influence to hire the heroes in the first place. And then I had the chain going with the influence. Are the heroes good for the High Priestess? Maybe to heal afterwards, but besides it, it's just attack or block 5, and I even have to pay them. And I then don't do much otherwise. Again, healing is not a combat ability and influence is not as well. So I think I should probably just replace them with the Guardians. But do I keep the Illusionists or do I also pop them? I should probably keep them. But if I take 2 turns in the city, 1 with Song of Wind, kill the dragon, 1 with the keep, it's already 4 turns, and then I might run out of time. But I have such a huge deck, so I think I need to use Sparring Power, go after the dummy. If I use Preparation, I'm going after him anyway. The only option would be Mana Search, but I think I'd rather get my cards. So let's do Sparring Power. I think we do need to gamble here. Doesn't matter what the dummy picks, but let's choose it at random. Dummy picks Mana Search. Okay, so he again goes first, and he plays white, green, red. That's another green and another green. Alright, all in all, I'm happy with this result, because it means there's only 2 green cards left in his deck, and we have seen a red one. Yeah, but I'm not too confident. Well, we will have 5 turns at least. Let's see, before our first turn we use Sparring Power. We can probably Power Threaten if we like to. Let's see. So we do have 1 from Reputation, 1 from the shield, 2 from Bright Negotiation. It's night now, so it's 4 influence. This brings it up to 9. I'm going up 1. Threaten would make it 11. So 5, 7, 9, 10, 11. That's the Autumn Guardians. So let's do that quickly because I want to do it anyway. So if I want to pick up Song of Wind as well, I would have to power threaten. I didn't use a source die yet, so we could do that. We would lose a reputation again, but get 3 more influence, and we can then use the illusionist, but that would then mean they are gone. So what's more important, the turn or the illusionist? Honestly, I think the turn. I do have white mana still, so it's not that important. Having an enemy not attack might be really good. I do want to turn, so that's 3 more, that's 4 more, that's 7, so I can pick up the Song of Wind. Alright, let's do this then. I can ready them later if I don't want to ready the heroes. Maybe that's the point here. Okay, so we did only play Threaten then. We definitely want to keep the bow. We probably want to keep the counter attack. That's range attack. That's raw power, but maybe we do have so many other raw power cards. And a Song of Wind will be our movement. So we have to hold on to the wound. We probably want to discard these 2. Yeah, so let's get rid of them. That's the first turn then. There's a Decompose coming up, but I don't see me staying here if I just paid for a turn. And I don't have blue mana, I just recognize, so Song of Wind will not be... I will not be able to cross the leg, so let's really hope the reroll gives us blue. How likely is that? So it comes up red, of course. Okay, but let's see. That's a problem for the next turn. So we have a hand limit of 7 still. So we replace the 3 cards we played with the Song of Wind. The Wings of Wind. Okay, that's lucky, so we wouldn't have needed it, but we didn't know that. And an improvisation. But I'm happy to see it, because it does solve the same problem. So it's a dummy second turn. Blue, green, very nice. And the last green card, that's insane. Okay, so 3 more. Blue, blue and white. So he's halfway through his deck already. That's not good. So our second turn, Sparring Power. So the Wings of Wind does not provoke rampaging enemies. So if we go to the spawning ground, we don't provoke it. And then entering the keep would provoke it. That's the downside of this. But to move through lakes, you would have to be able to pay a blue mana, which we don't have. We probably have to keep it slow, unfortunately, which is completely the wrong direction, but with these cards, we have to kill these 2 tokens and the dragon and then do the assault. So we do have to spend cards or units, there's no way around that. So if I'm just rushing into the keep now, which would be possible, how do I defeat all this, keeping back the both Starstorm? I really don't want to use this before the Valley. So the counterattack is actually the MVP maybe for this fight here, because if we do block this dragon, which we should, then the counterattack alone will already kill it. But we do need block for this, which might mean that we use the Autumn Guardians. That it's a bit sad, but they would already do what they are designed for, and I can still sacrifice them against the attack of the High Priestess because they have a 7 armor. But we do need a lot of block, even more maybe to get rid of these tokens. So I'm thinking about just crossing the water because we do not have blue mana with the Wings of Wind, but it does not give a move. So we would need move 2 to reach this place here, which would be the Song of Wind, but then it's hard to assault the keep. If we power this, then it's move 2, Wasteland is reduced by 2, so this card alone would give us access to the keep. But it does cost a white mana then. But where did I get my move 2? So this would also mean that I probably have to play one of the Swiftnesses right now. But then again, will I be able to power so many white abilities? So I'm spreading myself quite thin, and I'm gambling. If I'm using 1 turn to go here, I'm running out of time. So 1 turn, 2nd turn, probably a preparation turn. So I need 4 more turns, which I should probably have, to be honest, but probably not much more. And I want to hire. Well, that's a preparation turn. So in this turn, I will probably then play Wings of Wind with the Swiftness to get here, but I have to hold on to all these other cards. Maybe not the improvisation, but it can give me block. But I will not draw many cards, so I'm already at 5 then, and I have a hand limit of 6. I'm nowhere near City or Keep. So it's just 1 more card. So what's the difference? Well, the difference is that I can use another source die, which I do need for the counterattack. Otherwise, I would need a crystal again. So I do need block 12. Guardians would give me 8. I need another 4. Now, I don't like to rush in. If I'm not using, well, if I toss the Song of Wind or use this instead of the Swiftness, range attack doesn't do much with all that stuff because this is elusive and this is 45. So I think I have to move with Norowas with Song of Wind to reveal spaces. I can't reveal any other tiles, it would be too expensive anyway. I'm just thinking about approaching this differently without provoking the dragon, but it doesn't work because just the layout is not in my favor here. So this was use a source die and play 2 cards. I can't get rid of the wound. I want to hold on to this. And the question is really about improvisation. Can't really... It's not enough block anyway. Because even with the new card I'm drawing, I just need to discard it for this anyway. So I think I'd rather hope for better cards. Or I have to use the heroes and then try to ready them with my version of Tranquility, Rejuvenation. I think I'm tossing it. I'm not sure what I'm doing here, but I want to see more cards. So let's reroll this. comes out as black. And I do draw 2 cards now. So one is the concentration and one is heroic tale. Not helpful. And I'm at the mercy of the dummy at this point. So let's see. Blue, white, and white. Nice. Okay, so 5 cards left. If I had red or green, it's 4 turns altogether. If I'm heading blue or white, only 3 more after this one. Yeah. So at the beginning of my turn, I'm using Sparring Power. And the plan really was to use the Song Wind now, probably with a white source die. Hold on to the bow, assault the keep, provoke the dragon, which has ambush. Should have marked that, but I think we remember it like this. Not sure if it's worthwhile. Then we probably have to use the heroes for blocking. The Guardians I cannot ready anyway. I would have had to hold on to my skill for this, but Rejuvenation, with if I power it, can ready the heroes. But I don't have green mana currently. But it would at least block the dragon, bring it up to 7, counterattack will kill it. So the only problem is that I then have these 2 tokens here, which I have no idea how to deal with. So maybe the Song of Wind should have brought me here to just kill the dragon on its own. Didn't think about that. It leaves me a lot of out of position. Well, I can skip the keep completely, but I think I want the faction tokens. That's the problem. I'm not sure it's worth it. So there are a lot of tokens that will just wreck me, like the elemental priestesses. I'm not sure where they are, but they are somewhere, so either here or there. They have 2 elemental attacks that I can't really deal with, so it's already 2 wounds. The Cloud Griffins would also wreck me because I don't have an armor of 4 yet. So taking the keep is actually not that advisable. I should really stick to killing the dragon and then think about if I just try the Hidden Valley without the keep. I think it's just wanting too much here, so 2 unknown tokens that I don't have the cards like at all. So if I'm not taking the keep, the Song of Wind can just get me here, so the ambush would already trigger. I'm sitting on spawning grounds. Should I do them? 2 brown enemies for an artifact and 3 crystals. But again, it wastes range attack that I need for the valley, so I'm out of time. I can't. I really can't. So if I move here with the Song of Wind, I would provoke the dragon. Let's play that through. Then I can use Bright Negotiation on the heroes and the Altan Guardians to come up with a block of 13. That's an efficient 6, so it's blocked. It has only 7 armor then, and then the counter attack will kill it because it's 4+3 for each blocked enemy. So I can then use the Heroic Tale for the preparation turn. I have to do that. It gives me 2 reputation, gives me a faction token, but I'm not in a keep. I can't actually hire then. I think it doesn't matter. I have to make it do like this. So let's 7 fame and 2 reputation, and I will get a faction token. I do level. So as usual, I have to move the map out of the way here. And I do probably want to hold on to concentration, but I can just toss the Heroic Tale if I'm not planning to go in there. That's 8 movement now without the Song of Wind. I have all my units spent, so I don't think I have the time for this. So let's toss this. Unfortunately, let's stick to the wound. Reroll the die, stays red. I do get relearning, so I can swap out the skill again for the skill that allows me to ready a unit. That's huge. I like that a lot. Okay, let's keep that, but I am keeping it anyway. And we are drawing 3 cards only, unfortunately. Rejuvenate, March, and Noble Manners. And the dummy hopefully plays slow again. So white, blue, and red, which is 2 cards. Okay, so well, there was a lot of chance to, so yeah, it was a 60-40 chance, so, but he did exhaust his deck. So it's really just 2 turns now. Don't think this is looking good, to be honest. So I'm not using Sparring Power now. I don't think there's no way I can kill a High Priestess, but maybe I can at least give it a dent. So I will probably use the Tome of Relearning to swap out the Influence skill now. Well, I do need it for the heroes. So I do probably flip this one here for green and white. The reason for the green being that I want to rejuvenate a level 3 unit, so I'm readying the heroes. I could get rid of the wound as well, but yeah, you can't do everything. And then I can swap out this with the Tome of Relearning to get this skill again, and then ready the Guardians. So at least I have my elite units back. And then I will probably drop all of these here. So from the huge stack of my deck. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm drawing just 3 more cards. Determination, Stout Resolve, and the Firebolt. Dummy announces end of round, and I am taking now all the cards from Sparring Power. So we did make it up to 4 cards. And we do have the Snowstorm, a Swiftness, a Crystallize, and a Rage. And then since this is my last turn anyway, I'm using Motivation for 2 more cards. So there's the Tremor and a Mana Draw, very nice. And I do get a green token from the Motivation. And that's then it. This has to do. So let's see. We do want to use the Tremor probably, because there's 5 tokens. That will be 10. We don't have any of our yeah, huge attack cards, unfortunately. But we do have Stout Resolve, but we already have the wound for this in hand, so more wounds won't help. So that would be -10 for all these tokens. Actually, I should see them, I think, because I'm in the vicinity. So let's see. The dragon is again the one, it's elusive. That's bad. Here we have sprites. Okay, they have defend. We have to think about that. Then, okay, there's an unfortified enemy, but also elusive. The griffins. There's an air elemental, also elusive. Swift, cold fire. And there is a fire elemental. So the green token we probably spend for tremor. There's nothing that's arcane immune at least. So this is our range attack together with the heroes. So it's already planned for that we probably use the heroes for 7. So we don't have blue mana, but we should probably play this for 6. Well, if it's doubled. At that point, I think I'd rather play concentration for the blue, because we can't power it with green anyway, unless we are using mana draw. But a concentration could power the snowstorm, and with this it would be ranged ice attack 16 once we double it with the bow. But you do have to think about the mana draw. Maybe we want to use it to produce 2 green tokens, but then we don't have the blue. If we want to use the Autumn Guardian's power, but to what end if we kill the token? So what would we need if we want to kill the tokens? The elusiveness is really annoying. Like 4 or 5 tokens here are elusive. That would be 2. 8 is 10, 14 is 24, 8 is 32, 6 is 38, and there's a defend, so 39. And we would have 15, 18, 21 doubled, 42 with the bow. So we could kill it even though they are elusive. We can then take the attack from the High Priestess, but we have no chance to create 40 damage. But we can kill the High Priestess at range. That might be a moral victory. So I think we can actually win this scenario. That's a surprising turn. So you only have to kill the High Priestess. That's the win condition. That gives you 20 scoring points. It doesn't matter if the units still are alive. You probably have to flee then. But who cares? If I'm knocked out, who cares? So if we come up with 40 range attack, we can kill the High Priestess, and I think we can. But I really would like to also power the Autumn Guardians to then give my units all resistances. That would get rid of 3 attacks. Probably the 7 from the Fire Elemental could be run into the Guardians, and the 6 from the Dragon could be run into the heroes, and at least 1 attack of the sprites, which would only give me 3 wounds, because the High Priestess will not even attack if I kill it. Oh, we did not use the Tremor yet. That was stupid. So unfortunately the elusiveness does not double the usual armor, but it's just another armor, so it will be reduced by 2, or yeah, by 2. But not by 4. So it's not reduced before doubling or something like this. But that would bring down the armor of these tokens by 10. And we did need like 20 or so. No, before doubling. Okay. So let's see. Then the sprites would be at 1, even if we attack themselves. I'm not sure about the order here. It probably doesn't work like this. So, okay, so they would be at 1. But 2 then with the defendability. So then 6, that's 8, that's 20. Another 6, that's 26. And another 4, 30. So yeah, 15 range attack doubled would kill them. But then we would not be able to kill the High Priest. So I think that's out of the question anyway. Let's see how much range attack we actually need. So we need exactly 20. Unless we want to kill more. That's always an option. And we do need the mana here. If we break the bow, use the heroes, that's already 14. The Firebolt brings it up to 20. So we not need another 10, which is 8 and 3, or 5 and 5. Let's see if we can make this work. The Tremor wouldn't do anything for us unless we want to kill more of these tokens, but maybe the green is better spent here for the moment. So we do need a blue. The mana draw with the white can give us blue. So 1 for the Snowstorm and 1 for Crystallize then, because this can then give us any mana that we want. Let's mark this like this. It's not technically a gold mana, but it's whatever mana of a basic color. And this could, for example, power this ability here. Then we have used all our units, but then we can defend against all these attacks from the tokens. I think I like that a lot. That's really a nice outcome for the scenario. I didn't think it's possible. But with the Bow of Starsdawn and range attack, we can snipe the High Priestess without touching any of her entourage, win the scenario, be not knocked out. It will probably not be a good score, but I take what I get. So we do need movement 2 to actually enter, and we can still strike back technically. So maybe we do not use this here, but instead use our crystal. This gives us a source die, and white doesn't do anything for us, that's the point. So we use this. Well, we do have a red crystal, so it doesn't matter. The problem is really the blue mana. Or do we power the determination after all? No, we have to recolor this to get another green. The green we got from motivation, so that's good to have. I think that's just too perfect without the black mana. So as it is, we would still get an attack of like 7. 9 if we use the crystal. Or no, we just can use the source die. But unfortunately, we can't use the red crystal then. If we do take the wound with the concentration, so concentration gives us 2 here and we don't need white. But we would have another white because then we don't need the mana draw for this. Let's see if this changes anything. Let's undo the mana draw. So we do have this green token. Maybe Tremor or Stout Resolve, we will see. We will then again use concentration to produce the blue. But we do have to take the black die. So let's not use this one. Mana draw can take us another die, so maybe that's the idea here. So the blue comes from the concentration, and the mana draw can give us white. Well, we do have white still. So let's use the white crystal here. So we have enough range attack. Oh, the sprites will actually, they might kill us. Wow. We have to, wow. If they give the defend to the High Priestess, that would be game over because it's 8 more armor then. So it would be 6 times 8 instead of 5 times 8. So 48 instead of 40. So you would need 24 range attack unless we fake something to get rid of the defend. And we can only get to 23. But we can group them together. But then they share the ice resistance. Whoa, that's not good. Okay, let's try to make that work. That would be so sad if we now lose because of the sprites. So we can't do it like this because we do need probably the +2 from the concentration. But we probably need the black mana. So we would need to shuffle this around again. Use the crystal on the mana draw. Produce 2 blue, which would give us this blue and then from crystallize the gold that we have here. We have to replay it in the end anyway to make sure that we didn't cheat. And then we would have to do a range attack against the sprites, which are at 3 if they defend themselves. So that's, I think, the key here. But at that point, I would need this token here to kill the sprites. And I would need the concentration on the firebolt. Actually, I would then probably use the firebolt on the sprites because I have the mana for this. And then I don't need another whites. I don't need the golden one for the concentrated swiftness. So I can use the green for the concentration. I will still have the wildcard mana here. So does this work? What we would do is we would, as a first act, use a crystal on Firebolt for range fire attack 3 that just kills the sprites. They're guarding themselves. They're elusive, 2 armor, 1 defend, is 3, they're dead. So they are not defending the High Priestess, so she still has armor 5 with level 8, that's 40. And then we get 7 with a crystal. Use mana draw on a gold die for 2 blue tokens and the red from the source. This is not from the source, so we just turned that blue. To get 7, 8 is 15, 5 is 20, both Starstone is 40. And we kill a High Priestess. This is from motivation, this is from mana draw, this is a crystal, this is a crystal. This is a crystal. We had 2 white, 2 red. We only used 1 source die. We are not using Tremor, doesn't do anything for us anyway. High Priestess is arcane immune, sprites only have, well, it would reduce it by 1. There's nothing else we want to kill. We do still have the wild card, that's nice. So we can still activate them to prevent getting knocked out. So we do still need to move in. We're still lacking to move 2, but I think that's not a big deal. We do need the Bright Negotiation to even activate the heroes. That's that much is clear. This is why I did not replace that skill. And from the remaining attacks, we only have those left. These would go here. These would go here. So it's 7 to 7, 6 to 6. And I would get 2 wounds because of an armor of 4. And since we killed the sprites, we even got rid of 2 wounds. Well, technically 1 because the illusions can absorb 1 and they can't absorb these. Well, they can, but wounding them... Well, my wounds are -2 points, their wounds only half their points, so it's just 1. So probably we assign them here. The first 2 damage will be absorbed by resistance, and the second 2 damage will wound them, and then this will get through. And at that point I can even counterattack, unfortunately without a tremor, but I would still have 2 cards I have to play sideways, so I think it doesn't matter too much. So I will only come up with 5 attack, unfortunately, because, well, I do have still a crystal left, so I can come up with 7 attack, but then again they have 8, so none of this is blocked. So they have 8, they have 14, they have 8, so it's only this, but it does kill it, so yeah, why not? Alright, so the epic finale, let's play that through. We play these cards sideways, Determination and Tremor, unfortunately, to produce movement 2. So Norowas enters the Hidden Valley, encounters the High Priestess with her entourage. As a first action, we play a crystal from our inventory for range attack, fire range attack 3 to kill the sprites. They have 1 armor, 2 because they're elusive, 3 because they have defend, and this is the first token we attack. They are not fire resistant, so they die. Crystal is used, fireball is used. We do get 1 fame and a faction token that we can't use. Now, we are still in a range attack phase. We do break the Bow of Starstorm, which reads that each of your range attacks this turn is either doubled or becomes a siege attack of the same element. So doubling or siege. We don't need siege, so we're doubling. You may also double any siege attacks, but they become range of the same element. That's important because of the blizzard. So we break this and we can double our range attacks and double our siege attacks, but they become ranged. We then play the mana draw with a crystal from our inventory. Return a gold die from the source blue, get 2 blue tokens. This is returned blue to the source. With the crystallize, we use 1 blue token and turn it into green, but it's not used yet. We then use our source die to gather the black and the other blue token to cast Blizzard, so we get a wound. But we do get a siege ice attack of 8 that we double to a range ice attack of 16. We then persuade our heroes using the Bright Negotiation, since it's Knight to influence, so we do have to influence to activate them, even though it's an assault. Actually, it's not an assault. I wouldn't have needed that. Ah, that's a mistake. Okay, no level S. Okay, so we could have kept another skill. Let's not think about that. Okay, so we act them with another crystal from our inventory for range attack 7. So that's range attack 14. So we're already at 30. We then use the token from Motivation to make a concentrated swiftness attack of a range attack 5, which is doubled to 10, which brings our range attack up to 40. So 7, 15, 20, double to 40. The High Priestess has level 8 with an armor of 5. That's 40. She's ice resistant. Oh my god, it doesn't work. She's ice resistant. Wow, what a finale. What a finale. So it's halved again. So I'm missing range attack 8. Just wow. Okay. So just 7, 12, and 4. It's 16. Doubles to 32. So I can only bring her down to level 2, not to 0. And she will attack me because she's not dead. This is something I missed when I picked up this spell. Well, we didn't have the option for Fireball, but we might have been able to pick up Fireball after all. And we don't have another turn to kill her. That's so sad. But with all these elusive tokens, killing all them, well, with Tremor, again, we would need 15 range attack doubled with both Starstorm just to kill them. They came up at 30, I think. And I do have to consider they have ice resistance, so the 16 from this would have to be spent wisely. And since these are really high armor tokens, I'm not sure this would even work, because they only have 4, they have 6, that's 10. So I need 6 more, and the sprites have only, 2, I think, with the defend. So I would even need to, so I can't even do that. At least not efficiently. I would have more than 30 range attack. So even just getting the fire gems would have solved the issue, because then we could make it a cold fire attack and it would be efficient again. So we really didn't get enough faction tokens. I want to show them how good they are anyway, and I think especially for the Elementalist, the list of tokens is really good. The healing is always welcome, maybe not like extremely impressive, but it's really welcome. And the Ice Shard and the Fire Gem, they allow you to make your regular attacks into elemental attacks, or your elemental attacks into a cold fire attack, or make your block more efficient, which is also huge against all these elemental attacks with swiftness. The map is nice because it allows you to go to the core tiles faster. Cloak of Shielding makes you ignore the first wound and an effect. That's huge. And Tome of Relearning, that's just insane. All right, so we're already breaking it down here. So one important thing would be if I can actually attack her after the range attack phase, or if I can just attack her once per combat. That would be a pretty big difference. Although I only have attack 7 here, and the reduction doesn't happen until after the combat. But then again, at level 2, she will still have an armor of 5, so I would have to come up with an attack 10. Alright, so I went through the rules a bit and through the forums, and some nice information came up. One thing is that the attack on the faction leader is actually considered to be an assault. The designer gave his okay to not play it like this, but I think it's considered an assault, so I do have to use the Bright Negotiation to activate the heroes, so that's good after all. I still don't think you are losing reputation, but at least for this game that's not important currently. Then you can, at least Ben said that, and no one disagreed with him, that you cannot form multiple attack stacks against the faction leader in the same attack phase to circumvent certain protections, but you can attack the city leader again in another combat phase. So you can do a range attack and you can do a regular attack later on. So that would be an avenue where we might be able still to kill it. But what is clear is that the level only changes after the combat. So you're not having to block the attack that you reduce it to after the range attack, even though it does not attack when you kill it. It does not change its attack when you reduce the level. So the armor will stay, I guess, the same In this case, it would not matter because it's 5 armor with ice resistance. So that's good news if it's true. And I think I like that ruling, because otherwise you would have to go all out with range attack against Sidley. That's also what I argued in the last game with the Realm of the Dead against the Necromancer, that if you can't defeat it with range attack, there's no point, because you have to take the attack anyway unmodified, and then regular attack is just enough, so why even bother with range attack? In a sense, the same reason goes here, that why even bother with range attack, but I do bother because of the Bow of Starstorm. That's the reason, because I can double it. So if the cards is played, I would have 32 attack, because the ranged ice attack of 16 is inefficient and goes down to 6 again. So the doubling of the Bow of Starstorm just undoes the ice resistance. So it would only reduce the High Priestess by 32 divided by 5. So it's actually 2 points of damage that I'm not even using. But I think it's still worthwhile, because without the 8 attack, there would be even less of a reduction. So I would only have the 7 and the 5 for 24, and it's 1 point short of reducing it by 5 levels. And I'm actually reducing it by 6. So it's actually the 5th level that I would not reach, and another level. So it will be at level 2, but I would need 10 attack, and this is only 4 plus 3, so that's 7. If I could power it up, it would be 2 more, so that's 5, and 4, that's 9, so I'm still lacking 1. So the question really is if I do want to use the Autumn Guardians to give all units or resistances, or if I can just get rid of the units. So the overall problem is that I really have to deal with the High Priestess attack then, so I'm taking more wounds. That's not an issue, I think. I have an unmodified hand limit of 6. I start with a wound. I got 1 from the Snowstorm. Not powering Snowstorm, by the way, would give me 3 points less, so they're doubled and inefficient, so I would go down from 32, does this make sense, to 29? Yeah, it can be an odd amount, because this is the only thing that's halved. So, okay, so I'm 24 from here, 5 from there, that's 29, so that's just 1 short of the armor I need to reach, so this is why I need to power this. And if I don't use the Autumn Guardians to give audience or resistance, I'm really screwed. And I can't hold them back for the attack 5. That's the main part here, because they would either be destroyed or I would be paralyzed. So it really comes down to single points of damage here. Currently we are reducing the faction leader to level 2. And again, I don't think it's the armor changes before the end of combat. So it doesn't matter to choose which level to go to, but this will not be enough. Without the crystal even, it's an attack of 5 that reduces it by 1, but it's still alive. We do like to win. So let's rewind this and see if we can make this work somehow by taking more wounds. So this should have rewinded everything. I did have 2 red and 2 white crystals, which are here. The mana draw turned the gold die blue with 2 blue tokens. With crystallize, we made it green to activate the Autumn Guardians, and the blue was here with the black source die, and this is the token from motivation. So mana wise, I think we are in the clear. Card wise, I think we should have more. We did have the wound already in hand. We never get rid of it. So that's 6 cards. That's our hand limit. We got 4 from sparring power. That would be these cards, for example. The wound we get by using Snowstorm. But then there's only the mana drawn. We should have 1 more card. Oh, we do have the Bow of Starstone, obviously. So yeah, we have a hand limit of 6. 4 from sparring power, 2 from motivation. That's 12 cards. 4. That's 4, and with the wound that's 4. So that's unfortunately the whole situation, and the problem really is the movement that costs so many cards, or the recoloring of the crystallize, because all the cards will be attack 2 with start resolve if we can manage to power it. So we did have this trouble with the sprites, that the defend ability will interact with the faction leader, but we should really research that, because it would be a huge difference if it's 5 to 6 and then multiplied, or if it just means that it defends the first level of the faction leader, so it's overall just 1 armor. That would mean I need 41 damage to kill the faction leader, but I don't need to kill the sprite, and this is actually doubled, so it's a used waste, because it's 6 fire attack and I only need 3 to kill them. So if I add the 6 on top of what else I have, I am at least, with the 32 I'm reaching due to the inefficient attack, I would be back to 38, and that's 9 levels if I have 1 armor to spare, so 38 with the defend, it's 37, and 36 is 9 levels. It's 7 levels, so yeah, so I'm reducing it from 8 to 1, and then I only have to deal 5 more damage to kill it. So that would be a huge difference, so I have to figure that out. Alright, so I did find a discussion on the topic, which I even participated in, but it's already quite some time ago. And with quite some time, I mean literally 10 years ago, so a decade ago. So I don't remember even replying there, but I was involved in the discussion as well. The question was, can you misdirect, basically? So can you attack something, not kill it, but have the defend being spent? And the designer pretty much said, why not? And then there was a discussion if fog lighting is overpowered and so on and so on. And I think the consensus is that the defend would increase the armor of the avatar, so not only the last level. So in my case, it would be a defend of 8 from just these sprites, so I have to deal with them beforehand. That's sad a bit, but I think that's what the consensus says. So yeah, overall, I'm a bit screwed then, but I'm not giving up hope yet, because I just realized that if I'm not killing the avatar, I don't have to do it in the ranged phase. And breaking the Bow of Stars Dawn will just leave the ability be that for the rest of the turn, so each of your ranged attack this turn is either doubled or becomes a siege attack at the same element, and you may double siege, but they become ranged. So it states that if I'm not interested in siege, that I can double for the rest of my turn all my attacks, my ranged attacks, but it doesn't matter that I do it in the ranged attack phase. So maybe I can use this to my advantage and group more, because it would mean that I do not need to use the Firebolt for the sprites, or I can just group them with the avatar after all, because they do both have ice resistant anyway, as I realized. Actually, I can do that in the ranged attack phase as well then, so I will have 3 more attacks. So does this change anything? So that stays at 8, that's 14, 6 is 20, 10 is 30, so I'm at 38. I need 3 here, so I'm at 35. Yeah, that's good. It's really good. 35 is 7 levels. So from the 32 I thought I had, I can use this range attack, fire range attack 3 if I group them. This brings it down to level 1 and 5 attack is enough. So and the only thing we need to be sure of is if I group these enemies now, I can then decide which one to attack first, because I'm literally attacking them both at the same time if I group them. So how does defend work with grouping enemies? So I found even more 10-year-old threads where I had discussions with Ben and others about the timing of tremor and defend and so on. So quite interesting stuff, but I don't think it applies here. So I think the defend bonus goes to the first targets I choose, which are the faction leader and the sprites. But of course, each defend ability will only increase the armor of 1 token, and I think at that point it's up to me. So I think if I group the sprites and the avatar together, so the faction leader, the high priestess, I will be able to have them defend themselves. They are the first thing I attack, and they can also be the first thing where I actually apply attack points to. So yeah, I don't see why this wouldn't work if they are literally in the first group of enemies I'm attacking. Alright, so I think we have cracked it down now enough, so to replay it once more, one final time hopefully. So we do again start with the tremor and the determination to move into the space. We then do use a crystal to, well, we do want to group, so let's put them here. So they are elusive, they are not blocked, we are in a range phase. They have an armor of 2, the avatar has an armor of 5, but I want to deal much more damage to it. So I will start creating damage with the Bow of Stars Dawn. That helps me doubling all the attacks. So we do have a range attack 7, and since it's assault and need pride negotiation, so that's an attack of 7. This is an attack of 3, fire, so that's 10. This is an attack with the token from motivation of 5, that's 15. This is all doubled to 30. I then cast this for a range ice attack of 16, but it's inefficient, so it's only adding 8. That's 38 in total. And the mana from this I got from a source crystal on mana draw, turning the depleted die blue, getting 2 tokens, using 1 here, and the regular die is the black die. So that's 38 range attack with efficiencies of elements already factored in. 3 go to the sprite, so it's defending itself. I already gave myself the fame token is here. And then I have 35 to affect the faction leader with an armor of 5. That's 7 levels, so it will be down to level 1. And I'm again cleaning up a bit now, so we have more space here. So these are crystals. They are the other 2. This one is already used. This we haven't used yet. This is the mana token from motivation. And this is from the from the mana draw, and there's the other token from the mana draw. This is a source that needs to be re-rolled, just needs to be placed back. And the snowstorm gives me a wound, this is already here. So we have defeated the sprites and have the faction leader down to level 1. Alright, so at that point I'm producing a green token with crystallize. That's already on the Autumn Guardians. So I used them, all my units or resistances. The faction leader then still has, at level 8, an ice attack that paralyzes of 7, which I assigned to the Guardians. So the faction leader is dealt with, so that's new. The dragon here is bumped into the heroes, so the 6 cold fire attack goes into the 6 armor. This wounds the illusionist, because they have an attack of 4, but they are resistant, so yeah, they soak up the first 2 and the other 2 wounds them, which leaves these 2 tokens, which I can't assign, because I can assign only 1 token, and there's the faction leader and 2 others, to units, which means I'm getting 7 and 3, that's 3 more wounds. So the wounds in hand are still only 5, I have an unmodified hand limit of 6, And I'm not even sure if the wound I already had counts, so I'm not knocked out. 7, armor 4 is 2, armor 3... Oh no, it's a cold fire attack of 3, armor 4 is 1 more. So 3 from the tokens. So 3 from the tokens, 1 from Snowstorm. And that's the block phase and the assigned phase. So all these tokens are still live, but we do really want to kill the High Priestess. So at that point, I'm not even needing my crystal, I think, because I can use this for an attack 2. I can discard a wound to increase it to 3 by 1, and then attack 2 is attack 5. And we finally kill the priestess, because she still has the armor of 5, wouldn't matter. Well, actually level 1 would have different armor, but that's not the point here, so because this is changed later. So in the regular attack phase, I deal enough damage to kill the High Priestess and finally win the scenario. Now all these tokens will stay, and we are again at the point where the dummy already announced the end of round, and the players usually have one more turn. But I'm not sure I get it. At this time, I don't think we can cheat around the announcing an end of round. Last time it only made a difference of 2 fame or something like this, or maybe even 4 fame if I heal 2 wounds, I don't remember. But I do have to withdraw from the Hidden Valley because there are still these defenders. But the High Priestess is dead. This was our mission and we did achieve it after all. I hope I didn't do any mistakes. Please correct me. Please try to follow this and write if you see any issues with this. It will also be an epic game if I failed this. But I do like the up and down and the I can do it, I can do it, I can't do it. Oh, the sprites. I can't do it, I can't do it. And I think we made it work with a lot of range attack with the bow of Starstorm, bringing her down 7 levels, and then a regular rage killed her. Yeah, and with the last turn, I would actually see more cards of my deck. So there are my damage cards that I would have needed so badly. And I do even have mana to power them. And the movement also would have helped to have more cards for Stout Resolve, but we didn't power it. I think it's not that important. So does this mana actually, was it worth it? Where we can keep the units instead of losing them. This would have been lost, this would have been wounded. But besides that, there's not much else. So we could even have grouped the avatar, maybe with one of the other tokens, with Stout Resolve to produce more damage. But I think at that point, I'm quite content that we did it at all. And we won't play another turn. I don't think we have one anyway, I have to clarify that. And that's the Hidden Valley, with a very clutch kill. With an assassination, so to speak, of the High Priestess. Let's do calculate score, but I fear it will be very sad, but let's do it anyway. So with the standard achievement scoring, we do get 2 points per spell, and we managed to get 3 spells. So the Tremor, Snowstorm, Wings of Wind. This came in clutch, even though we learned the Song of Wind to cross the lake and even attempt the High Priestess. So this was really valuable. We did not use this at all in the end, because we did not kill the entourage, and against the High Priest it doesn't work. So this was useful, but we did have the problem that it's actually ice, and we didn't know that the High Priest is ice resistant. So that was, well, I wouldn't call it stupid because we did not have the Fireball as an option. We did have the Burning Shield, but it's not ranged. We had the Bow of Starstone, we want to double it. So picking this up, I think, was really good because we could take the keep. Maybe this was questionable because we could not take this keep in the end. So the hand limit was not useful, and the 4th flame probably didn't matter that much. So I don't know, but I think it was still good. So that's 6 points. Then the advanced actions, where we learned a lot because we were in the Green City with 18 influence. That gave us 3 advanced action cards. Then we leveled 3 times, and I'm not sure where we get the last one. We picked up the Song of Wind in the City, so we actually learned 3 and then 1 more, so 4, and these are the level up cards, and I don't think there's anything else. So that's 7, brings us up to 65, and we don't get the bonus fame, of course. We don't have an artifact left, we only got the Bow of Starstone, we broke it, and we don't have a crystal pair, so that's also nothing. For the leader, we do get the full levels here, that's 7. And half of our illusionists, that's 1 point, so that's 8. The greatest conqueror, so we did conquer a keep and 2 mage towers, and there was no monastery, and we didn't burn 1 down. We did not take this or this, so I think that's 3 fortified sites, that's 6 points. Then we have the adventurer, so we did have the dungeon here, we did have the altar here, but I think that's already it, so no monster then, neither here nor there. No tomb, no spawning ground, no second altar. So I think that's just the ruin and the dungeon. So that's another 4 points. And then there is the greatest beating. And of course we did get 1 snowstorm, 3 from enemies, and we already had 1. So that's 5 wounds, that's minus 10 points. That's really a sad score. As for the scenario scoring, we are successful because we defeated the High Priestess. We did get, after the combat, we also did get 3 fame per level. And she was level 8, so that's 24 fame. So it's 77, 97. Actually, now we are in a bit of trouble because this would have been right after the battle, and we do get bonus fame from this. So I think we were somewhere here, and the 24 for fame from the priestess would have brought us to 77, something like this. So we would have leveled once to get into, so we could have gone from here to here somewhere, and that would be 1 bonus fame. And we would have another skill and another card. So the card would give us 2 fame, and the skill is pointless. We do score 20 points for defeating the High Priestess. So we were about 100, so we had 120. So we do not have an unplayed round, or not even a card in a dummy deck. End of round was announced, so no more points. So we are literally at 120. We do probably still get fame for the Bow of Starsdawn for the regular users. So the breaking does not give us fame, I think. But I did not look up yet if we killed 1 or 2 enemies. I think 1 at least. So we might be at 121 or something like this. But altogether, I think, yeah, it's not a good score, obviously. The Realm of the Dead, I think we scored somewhere in the 150s. For a Bliss scenario, that's probably correct then. But yeah, this was a challenging game, to say the least. The tactic selection was really bad or unlucky. We didn't even use the first 2 tactics we chose. And this was really comedy here with going with the Bow of Starsdawn to the altar, to the ruins, just to figure out it's an altar, then go here just to have a physically resistant enemy. So nothing worked. And if I'm correct that I still made it work, I think that's so cool. I would be fine with it if I lost, actually, to be completely honest. It's still a very interesting match. I did forget a lot of the stuff when we went through it, so these 2 reveals I had to do later. This might have changed what I do. I don't think too much, honestly, because I was here. Well, I would have revealed the first tile. Then I went to... Yeah, so they attacked me when I went to the tower. No. Yeah, I don't really remember in which order we had to kill them. I hope I didn't misplay that. Well, actually, I did go to the tower first, so to the keep first, but it failed, so this provoked them. But the ambush did not work because I was going from 2 spaces to 3. That's good, because if I would have gone for the tower right away, they both would have ambushed me, because it's from 2 within a range of 2. So this was them first. We would have revealed this. Then we went to where we had to retreat. Then we went to the tower first, and this revealed in the second tile. And at that point, we would have known the whole map, but we did then went back to the tower and the keep. Maybe that was a misplay, but I felt that I'm back in fame and I really had to level. And continuing here to the tomb, fighting a dragon, which we don't know, I'm not sure about that. I think getting the 10 fame here leveling was quite good. The keep was debatable, but then again, we knew that we get a keep here. Well, yeah, at that point we knew that this keep was not in position. But we could have remembered that the White City has a keep, so having the hand limit increase and 4 more fame might have been worthwhile, but maybe at that point we should have continued, I don't know. So I'm sure that it was non-optimal, but it was fun. We made it, we have a crappy score, but I think I want to go on to Life and Death now, which, to be honest, is much easier. I'm quite baffled that the rules for the Realm of the Dead are quite interesting, with the graveyards, more enemies, with the rewards you get from liberating the graveyard from advanced action and a spell in solo, so no unit or artifact, but that's okay. Then a reputation from sealing, needing to seal them. Then you go to the Hidden Valley and there's none of that. There are no extra enemies. The glades are completely normal. You don't get an extra reward. There are not that many tokens to defeat. You don't get your reputation bonus. It's just harder to explore, but if you kill the rampaging enemies, then it's actually easier. So you have an incentive to go after them. But then again, there's just so fewer tokens on the map, and then you have the ambush instead, which should make it easier to pick them up. But I think it's still there's a large disparity between these two, and I'm not even sure I've even played this scenario yet. I don't remember, but then again, if it's 10 years ago that we discussed all the rules in the forums, I probably have just forgotten. But the Life and Death is really just a different beast. For the Life and Death scenario, you do have the tokens revealed, so the graveyards and the glades will both have 2 faction tokens. The map is split into the 2 factions, so there's a lot of tokens you already see. You can plan with them. It opens up tactical choices, especially with the faction tokens. It's a very tactical choice if you go down the Necromancer route and defeat these enemies, or if you go to the Elementus route, get these tokens. So there's a lot of open information. There's no ambush, no pursuit, so it's much easier. But then you have to, of course, kill both leaders, and it's extremely hard. I really had trouble with level 8, so I barely killed the Necromancer. It was a good choice, as I said last time. And with the Elementalist here, I didn't think I can make it. Maybe I did, but even one more level would have screwed me over completely, so it was really close already. So I'm not sure what levels I want to attempt. It will be no Bliss rules, so it will be 3 days, 3 nights, so that's a big difference. And as with the cities, killing the first leader will level you up a lot because you do get a lot of fame. So if you go for a level 10, for example, for the first, or let's say level 9 and a level 12, maybe staggering it would be good. I'm not sure if this is actually recommended. Let's look that up quickly. Well, right, the scenario says that they're both level 6, so no staggering, but I think if you tune it up, you can do whatever you like. So I could, for example, say it's 9 and 12. That sounds like I should at most try this. Sounds like too much already, to be honest. But 9 would be only one notch up from now. And after this, you will at least level like the rest of your levels, I think, because 9 times 3 is already 27 fame, and you have to kill, well, you don't have to kill the entourage, you can just leave them be, but it will be hard. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I love the scenario. So see you in the next game of Life and Death, probably.